Exposed. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show that has a lot of stepsisters and stepbrothers and step-cousins and cugines, all of that. Music Exposed! Hey! Hello. Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you had a wonderful weekend so far. It is Saturday. It is time for Music Exposed again. 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays is Music Exposed time. And today we have Reina Mystique. I'm very, very excited to have her today. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sarah Jazz. I'm one of the hosts. I am...
Who are you?
I am a touring musician. I tour. I am a professional jazz and blues musician, but also as a blues musician and jazz musician, you can play anything, so I play anything because I'm very good. And I know you're like, wow, I've never heard of Sarah Jazz. Well,
wow, I've never heard of Sarah Jazz.
Yeah. That's how you see how popular jazz is nowadays.
Right.
That's why I just Twitch now. Anyways, hi. Let's sit down. Thank you so much for the 128 bits.
You also tour.
You also tour. True. Did I tell you guys that I'm somebody who was on tour a lot? Anyways, let's sit down. Let's sit down, bitches. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Hello. This is my the second host of the show. If you don't know who he is
I'm the
going to
second
tell you
host.
right now.
Hi, I'm the Silence Noise. I'm a musician that's not on tour. My tour is live here on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Silence Noise. Or you can tour all of my music on all of the major streaming services like Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, or even YouTube if you are too cheap for a music streaming service. And then I can make 0.0000002 cents per play on YouTube, which they will then take from me because I don't have enough followers on YouTube to be monetized, so I actually get nothing for that. So thank you to all of you that listen to me on YouTube. By the way.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Quality.
Thank you so much, Northbound Matt.
Sarah Jazz, professional touring musician. Who tours and also tours but also tours.
Does she
Who
tour?
is also professional.
Yes.
Oh, did I mention Sarah is a professional touring musician?
Oh, is she?
Oh yeah. Did you not know
That's
that?
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
you
you
didn't
toured.
know that.
No.
So did you? I'm gonna tell you the story. Where I went
of a
on
professional
tour.
touring musician named Sarah Jazz.
I went on tour and then I was a professional musician. That's the story. Do you like it?
That's good. That was the best story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I've never heard a better story.
Are you jealous?
It is still a better love story than Twilight, though.
That is very true. I appreciate.
I will say that.
I agree with that.
Today feels like what I like about today's show is Midwest U.S. powerful. Today I know there's going to be tons of
Ethan,
Midwest
thank you so much
U.S.
for the follow.
Yeah, riveting plot. That's what they say about Sarah Jazz.
Yeah.
They love her plots.
Yeah, that's why the music community loves me so much.
Yeah, your plots.
Because I'm a touring professional musician.
Yes.
And I've also have I mentioned that I tour.
No.
Oh.
Have you ever done that?
Alejo, thank you so much for the follow.
Clearly, like you like to lecture me. I wouldn't understand what it's like to be a musician on stage because I've never toured. Like
Yeah.
you told me when we did the sausage sucking stream, you're like, you just don't get it, Silence.
You don't
You just don't get what it's like. It's magical when it's on stage. Never mind that you make no money and you have to eat gas station burritos for 60 days. It's great.
And you get only paid $50 a gig.
It's magical, okay? It's a magical
magical.
lifestyle. Musicians shouldn't be paid.
Yeah,
That's how we
musicians,
feel.
listen. It's just about the magic, okay?
That's right.
We can survive off of air.
That's true.
Yeah, like
Maybe
the
that's-
part
maybe that's-
that we tour. Hello.
Maybe that's why you were so skinny before you stopped touring. Maybe that was the issue.
No, I just had mental health problems, which.
Or both,
Yeah.
Hey, that's fine.
I mean, if you are a musician who doesn't get appreciated, but is on tour, but doesn't
I
get
don't know
paid
that-
a lot, you're still a miserable piece of shit.
I don't know that I've ever met... I have not met a lot of musicians that I feel like have great mental health.
Oh.
I can't say that I have.
Isn't that why we are musicians? Because we
Probably.
are trying to express our misery.
Probably. I'm not
Exactly
saying that
ours.
there are none. I'm certainly not saying that there are none. I'm sure there are people that are, but most of the musicians I've met have some flavor of mental illness.
Yeah.
It's just like fill the hole with art. But the hole never gets filled. And the more art that you create, somehow the bigger the hole gets, because it leads you to different parts of the hole. And then you're stuck in other parts of the hole that you didn't even know were there.
I like when my hole
Oh my
gets
god, shut
filled.
the fuck up, Sarah.
Okay.
Let
Thank
me
you,
support
Warrior.
this show now, or Sarah will not honor the truth.
Very true.
That is true. Thank you so much,
Very
Code
true.
Warrior.
Thank you, it's
Code
Warrior.
Warrior is the MVP of
He is
Music Exposed.
the
He really
Music
is.
Exposed supporter.
He is
Everybody
the
on
yes.
who's listening to the podcast and everything, if you didn't know, 3D Code Warrior, Instagram.com/3D
Oh my
Code
god, shut
Warrior.
the fuck up,
Thank you so
Sarah.
much,
There,
Sil-
thank you,
Silver.
thank you.
Well,
There
the
you go.
years start coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop
that.
coming and they don't stop coming
And
and
they
they
don't
don't
stop
stop
coming.
coming
And
and
they
they
don't
don't
stop
stop
coming.
coming
The
and they
best.
They
don't
don't
stop
stop
coming
coming.
and they
The
don't
best.
stop
The best.
coming and they
The
don't
best.
stop
The
coming and
best.
they
The
don't
best.
stop.
The best.
Wow,
The
Token
best.
Squirrel. Thank you. On a due
But
date.
yeah, so I am very excited for Reina today because we have a lot of things to talk about, and we actually
Wow,
had
Token Squirrel just
this-
insulted my clothes.
What?
Thanks.
Since you and I need to go shopping for some
Rude.
fancier dude date.
Rude.
Why? He doesn't like your your washed out.
He doesn't
family
like the
crest
family
shirt?
crest. That's how it comes. That's
It
how their shirt
comes
is.
out washed out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's vintage.
it's
duh.
supposed to look like.
Ouch.
It's
Token
washed
Squirrel.
out.
I mean, I am the ugly one. That is my job on the show.
You
Especially
are only
today.
because you don't. If I put makeup on you, you would
No.
look better than me.
Oh,
Trust
so
me.
no, if you put makeup on me, I would look like We Speak English Good on the podcast that he did a couple weeks
No,
ago.
you would look better because We Speak English Good sucks at makeup.
That's rude.
I mean, he does.
Why would you insult our guest husband before she's on the show? That's
I'm so
rude.
sorry.
I disagree.
That's
I
very
think he's
true.
amazing.
That's very true. But I am very excited for today because
I think
Reina
Reina
has a
Mystique's
lot
gonna
of-
come on the show ready to fight you.
No, I think she likes me. Maybe she will fight you.
I'll bring it. I will
No,
fuck you up in a video
I
game,
am so
Reina
excited
Mystique.
because there's a lot of things that Reina has in common with both of us. And
Yes,
we
like
talked
you
a
being
little,
from the Midwest United States. Yeah.
Exactly. But there is a lot of things that we can talk about, which I find very interesting. We even scraped a little bit on the surface of some things that I want to talk about today with her on the sound check today, which
She was scraping on Reina Mystique during the sound
I was
check. That's what
scraping
she's
on
saying.
Reina while we were on the sound check, if you know what
That's
I mean.
right. She's just mad because that. Oh, I know. We know that we speak English good. It's just
Yeah.
we're just making jokes.
Yeah, she is from. She did tell
know.
us that she's from California.
She
yeah.
did the opposite of me.
Yeah.
I went from the Midwest to the West Coast. She went from the West Coast to the Midwest.
By the way, if you don't know what is in the background, scene of action and the silence noise in the background as music. Sometimes
Yeah, the
myself
silence noise is also in the background on the show too.
Yeah, he's
With
everywhere.
with my ugly clothes.
He's just everywhere with your ugly clothes. The good thing, you know what the good thing is about that? The
What?
people that listen to the podcast only don't have to look at your ugly shirt.
That's right, and you can subscribe to the podcast wherever your favorite podcasts are found.
Yeah, so you
Like
don't
Apple,
have to look
Google.
at
You don't even have to look at
Silence's
me.
ugly shirts.
That's true.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, that's great.
I think that's a great
And
thing.
I find that very offensive to one of my favorite bands because I love the Family Crest. They're amazing.
Yeah.
If you have never listened to the Family Crest, you should. Start with Beneath the Brine. Amazing song and amazing album.
Maybe Token Squirrel, you should write a letter to the Family Crest and tell them to
Ouch.
stop making shirts.
I already went to audio only. Ouch.
Or merchandise. that-
Wow, I don't think I've been hated this hard since Crowboat was here.
Yeah,
Where's the Music Exposed hate crew been for a while?
yeah.
Maybe people are still upset about the dating episode.
Maybe they are.
Maybe
yeah.
they are. That's fine.
They're
That's
still
fine.
upset. They're still upset with you. If you also
If I had the choice not to look at me as well, I wouldn't look at me.
If you also don't know what we're talking about, we did a dating show with the Silence Noise and a lot of contestants and a lot of awesome streamers, and that will be on my YouTube, youtube.com/SarahJazz, very soon as a video upload.
Petfest, can I get a transcript so I don't have to see or hear you? Yes.
Yeah, we're working off of the script. What is the next thing we're talking about again?
We're talking about how we're banning Petfest.
Oh, we're not banning Petfest. Who am I gonna share a prawn with then?
Bazzy.
Yeah, but you know...
You have like 17 friends that you do that stuff with. You act like it's so exclusive.
What do you mean?
Petfest, you're not special.
Yes, you are!
You're not
What
special
a-
at all.
Shh,
She shares prawn with all of her
Shush,
friends,
shush
okay?
your face.
If you're a favorite
No,
friend, that's
no,
her thing.
no,
She loves to
no,
do that with all of
shush,
her friends,
no.
okay?
Yes, I totally only...
We are all part of the same
I totally only watch
compost
prawn
heap.
with you. You're very special.
We're all part of the same compost
I do
heap.
not... That is not a thing that I definitely do. Listen.
She's never done that in her life, yes.
I've never watched Prom with Friends. It's not a thing that I do.
Who else got that pick today? Tell me the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Nobody. Actually, nobody
You
got
need
that.
me on that line.
No.
You want me on that line, son. Who's gonna do
Actually,
it?
nobody
You.
got that. You are the only one who likes gay prom.
I don't think so. I think there's actually a lot of men and women that are probably into that.
No,
That's
I'm saying like in the friends that I watch prom with, you are the only one who appreciates gay prom. The other ones only want straight prom for some reason. I don't know.
understand.
It's a thing. Oh well.
That's why I don't have any friends, Sex Pedal Guy. Apparently because I don't want to watch prom with them, which I have no interest in doing that.
But
if you want to be my friend, don't expect to watch prom with me. The end.
The thing is when you have really good friends, you can. This is the thing. Don't you share with your friends the good things in life?
No.
Oh.
I hoard them all to myself.
Oh.
I make sure that my friends know nothing, and if they do, it's because I'm making them jealous.
Yeah.
That's not true. Actually.
I like to share.
Actually,
the
the
good
truth
things in life
is that
with my proms.
Actually, the truth is that I'm dead inside.
It's very me too.
Thank you. I'm glad for that. I'm just kidding. No, I have no idea. That
Okay, but legit question though.
Yes.
By the way, welcome to Music Exposed. We talk about music on this show. Have you ever watched prom with a friend? Like legit? Have you even tried? Yeah? And how was it? With who?
Well, we intentionally were watching something. It was like a parody. It was a parody of some movie.
Oh, it was like a funny one?
Yes, and it was supposed to be, we were watching it because it was funny, and Pet Festus nailed it. And then at that point, it gets kind of weird. Like, you're just like, okay, this is weird.
Because you got like a little bit aroused?
No, actually.
You didn't?
It's just weird.
Really?
It's just weird.
Ah, that's not true. We actually watched Prawn together with Existence 130. Go follow her.
That was not Prawn.
And it was explicit though, and Sick Psycho.
Yes, it was explicit violence. She told us this was supposed. Now, granted, the thing that she showed us that was the preview for that on Patreon that Sarah showed us looked like it was going to be very silly.
Yeah,
it looked like a
silly prom.
It looked like if you took Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and put it in like 1985 with all the kung fu sounds and everything, and then made it a prawn, like flying moves and all that stuff. That's what it looked like. What it was going to be. Instead, it was an hour and a half of torture. It was like watching Hostel.
People whipping each other.
Picking up people's fingernails, nailing
like
under them,
putting
them in the rack, hitting them with rocks. Like, it was seriously like Hostel.
It was horrible.
It was like
really
Hostel.
Horrible. We were not expecting that.
We tortured existence with it. Dora had to suffer through it as well.
Yeah.
And it's worth, if you are not part of Sarah's Patreon, it's worth watching that just to watch Dora's face the entire watch through. Especially by the end, she's just like, her face just gets more and more shot.
Her reactions are beautiful.
And she gets quieter and quieter as the movie goes on.
She said she loved it, and
she'll do it again. So
she'll do it again. And I was just very entertained by it because the videos basically you almost don't even see the movie. You see our reactions the whole time, and we're just all the time we're like.
Yes, Hostel is prawn for some, I guess. I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the question is, if you don't watch Prawn with Friends because it gets uncomfortable.
No, I just have no interest in doing that because I don't even watch it by myself that much.
That is the point. By the way, welcome guys. Welcome to Music Exposed, show where we talk about music. But that is the point that I thought about. I was thinking about.
You're trying to make a point that I don't watch Prawn that
often?
often?
No, I was thinking. No, of course you don't. You have me. So I was thinking.
That's no replacement. That's Sarah Jazz is like when you order prawn on Wish. said you wanted a roast of you,
I'm
and
wasted.
I said,
wasted. Fucking wasted.
Oh my god.
But
Yes.
what I have a theory. I
Okay.
have a theory why
You
you
have a
are
theory.
uncomfortable. I have a theory why you are uncomfortable watching prawn with your friends, and I am not, and other people that I know are not. Because everybody that is comfortable watching prawn with me are people who are addicted to prawn. People who legit people who watch prawn so
Way
much.
to call out Petfest in the chat. Hey Petfest, tell us about your prawn addiction. We appreciate that. Is that what you're watching when you're on the treadmill every morning and drinking your protein shake? Petfest is like, he's like Christian Bale in American Psycho. He's doing crunches and there's prawn in the background.
That's not what it is.
And he's just doing crunches like in that scene in American Psycho. Okay?
I didn't say pet fist. I'm just saying people who watch all my friends that I share prawn with, they all watch a lot of prawn. And I am outing myself too. I watch a lot of prawn. So I'm like, I think we're all desensitized that we can just send each other dick pics basically, and we're like, you know. But if you get if you get a JJ pic, you're like, and I'm like, and everybody's like, you know. But if
everybody,
you
I like how Sarah loves to do this.
Everybody who's addicted and watches it a lot. If you don't watch prawn a lot, you get uncomfortable with things like that. But you
I'm
don't
not
get
uncomfortable with it. I'm just like, why?
uncomfortable with watching with friends. Like, I find it funny. I like making jokes about the people involved.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, welcome to Music Exposed.
I love Mom Jazz.
show
Why is
about
the first part?
music.
Why is this always like this in the first part? This is just saying, yeah, she does body shame people. That is correct. Yes, this is apparently what happens on Discord after Music Exposed. If you'd like to join that group and watch Pet Fest do violent crunches like an American Psycho with prawn on in the background, that's what happens on Discord afterwards.
Join my Patreon for that. I'm kidding.
She's not.
I'm kidding.
She's really not. It is safe for work, though. Because you're just watching Pet Fest do his crunches as opposed to the prawn in the background.
Yeah,
you can just hear it. So
it's
that's why
also
safe for work.
awkwardly silent, so you don't hear the moaning in the background, so it's like...
I thought you were going to say awkwardly silence, which would have been a good pun.
Hi, welcome to Music Exposed, a show about music. So today we have Reina
What's your
Mystique.
favorite music from a prawn movie?
So...
Have any prawn movies ever had memorable music?
Okay, so if I'm actually asking this, you are somebody who, by the way, you can commission the Silence Noise to write you any music in any genre.
Any music?
Yeah, any genre, even
Well,
Disney,
thanks. I wasn't aware of this. That is true, though.
Disney
I did do
songs
Disney
and
songs.
all rock, pop, you know.
You probably want rock or pop.
If you
or
want
something
jazz,
from me.
I can help him with that, and I can.
I am familiar
But
with jazz.
I know.
Thank
I'm just saying. Basically, he's able to do it all.
Thank
so
you.
if you want to commission somebody for making you a song for yourself or for something in the background, you can hire him.
Where did this come from? Why did this happen?
Because if now somebody came to you and would be like, "Hey, I want to commission you to do a song for my prawn movie." What, that's all you know? You can ask them questions
Yeah,
though.
what the fuck is
I
this
did.
even?
It was a beautiful
Low
jazz
quality.
stream last stream, yes.
Silence had a beautiful jazz stream last
It is. It was
stream.
a beautiful stream.
Thank you, Matt, for the 100
was.
bits.
It really was.
So if somebody came to you and was like, messaged you on Discord and was like, "Hey, Silence, I wanna commission you to make a song for my prawn movie," what would you do?
I just send them the Music Exposed theme because that's basically what it is. That when I was writing the Music Exposed theme, that's what I was thinking about.
Prom?
No, I was thinking like 70. Yeah, I actually was. I was thinking like 70s. Back to
Down, chicka, wow.
That's what I was thinking, and that's where the Music Exposed theme
so
came
now
from.
you know why this show is all about music all the time.
Well, no, the show is called Music Exposed.
Thank you, Petfest, for the 250 bits. Thank you.
Today actual Ron Jeremy before his
Before his
prime
prime.
teaches us about how to make the best prawn music.
No, for me, I was just like, you got to go with the classic. And when we knew that when we were creating the show, that the whole joke of the show was that it was called Music Exposed. We're exposing people, kind of a prawn joke. Like the whole thing was a joke. And so that's exactly why I wrote. And then everything else has been 70s inspired for that reason. That's why Discovery sounds like a Bee Gees song.
That's also why we have so much neon in the background and all of that. Like the logo is neon. The studio is very 70s. And all
I don't know.
That.
I feel like the studio doesn't look 70s to me.
It looks like Saturday Night Live, but
I don't think it looks like Saturday Night Live either.
Funback, thank you so much for the follow.
It's more David Letterman than anything, but it's not really that either. It's just kind of... The studio has its own look. It is. It is music exposed. What's up, Wax? How are you?
But yeah.
March 5th, check out Wax Wayne's new release. We talked about it on the Bulletin Board last week. You can find all of the new music announcements as soon as we get them at musicexposed.show. For those of you who never stick around for the second hour, and I don't know why, but if you don't, and don't realize we talk about new releases all the time, make sure you check out his collab with Mike Shinoda.
There's two very important questions in chat. One question is, by the way, for all podcasters, if you want to ask questions in chat and sometime come watch the live stream, you can always ask questions in chat. But there's two very important questions. One question by Wax. He asked, how much music are we exposing today? And the second,
a lot, actually.
How much music?
We have a nice roster of Music Exposed Bulletin Board entries. We do that right before we do the interview with our guest, right after the musical performance, and while the guest is getting ready to come in the interview, and we expose music there.
Yeah, and we also exposed Reina today.
Yeah.
Who I am very, very, very excited to talk to.
Reina's amazing.
She's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have her. And what I didn't realize coming into the show is that Reina has lots of experience being on music podcasts because Sarah was recently on the podcast with We Speak English Good, and I'm actually a guest this week. Programming note, if you want to actually see the tables turned on me and watch me get interviewed, which I don't know that I've ever really been interviewed by anybody before.
Really?
I think this might be my first. I think I've done. So cute. Maybe I've done. No, I don't think I've ever done a music interview.
Have you not done a podcast or something?
I mean, I was on the radio for over a year in Sacramento.
Yeah, but you weren't a guest.
No, I was a host. I don't think I've ever done a music interview. Yeah. I've done a written interview, but I think that will be my very first music interview. So I'll be on We Speak English Good's podcast on Friday.
Yeah. And the second question is by Petfest. So how does that translate into Sarah sending me Schmidt pics on a 2-day afternoon?
See, Sarah thinks I don't see what she's doing when she's sitting next to me on the couch. Like I can't look at her phone and see that she's messaging you those things. And she giggles like a 4-year-old. You know, so I'll see her over there like... And I'll be like, who are you talking to? Your other boyfriend? And she's like, no. And then I'll be like, what are you doing? She's like, just sending prawn to whoever. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to go talk to my normal friends now. But my friends aren't normal either. So, I just go to my friends and talk about weird things. Yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Or music or something.
I've actually asked Silence too, and he has started.
I want to expose this. Hold on, real quick, before I forget. Never Muse just released a vocals only track. I didn't get to ask you if you got to use the new mic for that, but I sold Never Muse a microphone, and I'm pretty sure he just did a SoundCloud recording of Nutshell by Alice in Chains, an amazing vocal cover of that. Go check out Never Muse on SoundCloud. It was fantastic. I wouldn't call it release. Listen, if you release it, it gets released on the show.
Yeah, it's going to be on the bulletin.
I can harass Never Muse. I know Never Muse IRL.
Have you ever watched Prawn with Never Muse?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He was the guy in question that I was talking about.
Oh, he was the guy in question where you got uncomfortable.
It was him and our good friend Baron von Arth. And the movie was a terrible vampire parody thing. And of course, it got very uncomfortable as it was going on, but it was also hilarious too, which helped. Mm-hmm. Exactly. She asked if you've ever done that, and I said, I've only ever done it once, and it was that. And I believe the movie was called...
Thank you, Crow's Labyrinth.
Has Never Muse seen Cat Attack Live? Absolutely. Never Muse and Baron von Arth are the two people that have seen the most Cat Attack Live. I think Never Muse has been the victim of Cat Attack before. Not as much as Baron von Arth, but a lot. Yes, it was more of an experience than seen. It's a visceral experience.
So I actually have a question right now.
And Crow's Labyrinth, thanks so much for that follow.
Why do you think I like to watch Prawn with my best friends?
Because you're obsessed with sex. Like this is a mystery to anybody on this channel. That's why we can't even get through a music show talking about music.
Oh, that's totally that's totally my fault.
It is, actually. You bring up the topic every time. When I had other hosts on the show, we mostly talked about music. When it was me and Miss Mary Lou, or me and Dora, or me and TVR, well, TVR and I kind of did some weird stuff, but, it still was mostly about music. Okay.
Fine. I won't talk about sex.
Hell yeah!
Sex is done now.
Okay.
It's done. Done. I'm
passe.
not a perv anymore. I stopped being a perv right this instance. I'm now Virgin Maria. That's the name. That's the name. It's part of her name. It's part of her name, right? It is part of her name. I'm now. Oh my god. I sometimes hate Twitch. Legit.
There are people making out of my shirt. It's true. It's very dicey.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
I understand.
Good. You
can talk about whatever you want. It's our show, and if you want to come on the show and be a perv, and I want to talk about music, then that's just what we do. I don't care. I like to talk about music.
Ew,
This is
what
so
the
shit.
Thank you for the 100 bits.
Low quality.
After largest viewer quits.
Breaking
Yes.
news, Hub shuts down after largest viewer quits.
That's true. For those of you that missed that on Sarah's stream the other day, when Stream Elements or her Streamlabs camera mask had a little accident on her, then you should go watch that. I hope somebody clipped it. That was amazing.
There is a clip, yeah.
That was amazing. Is it in your Discord? Did somebody post it in the Discord?
Yeah, I don't know if it's in my Discord, but the clip exists.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That might be the best the best camera moment on the show.
You think so?
It was good.
Yeah.
For people that missed that.
It was a perfectly timed moment.
It was. It definitely was.
Yeah.
Sarah, okay, so Remo's like, Sarah, name some of your favorite performances.
Blobface.
There it is.
There it is.
Code Warrior MVP, as
There it
always.
is.
Has it right out.
Wait, let me see if we can actually watch it.
Are we going to watch this on Music Exposed? Music!
Do you want to
Here's
watch
a show
it?
about music.
Do you want to watch?
Hey, we're going over to the Zony.
Do you want to watch it? Wait.
This is great.
Do you want to watch it? No? Do you want to?
No.
Okay,
You don't have
good.
to watch it now.
Okay, cool.
I believe some people in our chat have been able to click on a link at some point in their life before.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Relive. I like how we're like relive Sarah Jazz moments on the Sarah Jazz stream. If you weren't here for the last one, let's show you the last stream again. In fact, why don't we just show past episodes of Music Exposed? Like, we'll just cut it, the first hour out of a different one and show that again. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever. The issue with Sarah is when we talk about music, it inevitably always ends up in an I was on tour story. She's like, hey, that music reminds me of when I was on tour and this kind of thing.
Yeah, it reminds me of the time that I was on tour, by the way. Did you know I was on tour?
I did know that, actually.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
problem.
It's good. I'm glad. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Anyway. Music!
Hi, welcome to Music Exposed. On this show, we talk about music.
Hi, I'm the Silence Noise. I'm actually a musician and a songwriter that's written over 50 original songs and 5 original albums, although only 2 of them are released anymore, and the next one will be coming out very, very soon. So I need to finish it because
Are you a professional? Yes.
Yes. Are you a fucking professional?
Are you a professional?
No. Wait,
So,
yes.
okay,
Actually, yes.
sorry to
No.
take you for the
I am. And here's what I would say, because most people's definition of what a professional is.
That's what I was going to
wrong.
ask. What is your
The definition of a professional, and I
musician?
believe this is true in any field, and a lot of people might want to debate me on it. If you have made money off of your craft, you are a professional.
Any money?
Any money.
Like 2 cents?
The minute you make.
Wait.
The minute you make money off of your profession.
Wait.
you're a professional.
Wait.
Yeah.
So that means we are a lot. If somebody gives you 2 cents for.
Yeah, if someone's buying your CD for 2 cents, that's someone that's buying something you created. That's being a professional. That's what a professional is. Does that mean all professionals are amazing? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that, but yes. Yes, you're also a professional once the tax agency comes
Very
claiming.
true.
But that is the definition of professional to me. It's very simple. The minute that you made money, so if you're on Twitch, the minute you get your first Twitch subscription, which takes time, there is a barrier.
You're a professional streamer?
I'm a proer streamer, actually.
Oh, right.
Have you ever watched? I'm not just pro. I'm proer.
See, this is the thing, though.
That's the
I
thing.
consider a professional somebody who is able to do something full time / gets paid enough to pay their bills.
Okay. And I don't
think like a 2-cent thing makes you a professional. I think once you can pay your bills, then you are a professional.
Actually, I don't think the definition is that
like all
different.
your bills.
I mean, since we're both basing it on, technically we're both basing it on money.
Yeah.
You're just basing it on more money. Not like ideally, obviously people would do that, but I also, well, you know, as I said, for me, the minute that somebody gets paid for something, they're a professional. Does that mean they remain professional? No. If you're someone that only makes 2 cents off of your music ever and you never make music again, or you stop performing or you stop creating, you're obviously no longer a professional.
I feel like it's deceiving though. If you have sold one song, imagine. You've sold one song and then tell people you're a professional musician for years and you've only made that one song and only ever sold that one song. And
they're good
it's
questions
just
for
once.
me. I like Chad is asking me all these questions. I like it. They clearly don't even want to talk to you. They're just like, let's talk to silence.
Why?
I'm just kidding. I got like 3 questions in the chat. I want to answer.
Yeah.
them.
I mean, I talk out of my ass, so people don't.
So do I.
People don't want to talk to my ass. I understand.
Yeah, but there's a bit of an expectation that they can at least pay some bills. But most musicians, even as professionals, can't pay any bills. Like that's a scourge in the music industry, and that's something that I love about. If you guys haven't followed up with Ed Plays Jazz, he and Troublesome1234 have been putting together. They put together a GoFundMe that's for an amazing
cause.
I
still have to answer them.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry.
We both do because they're doing a better music education platform. Where again, they're very passionate about what we talk about on the show a lot. That musicians don't get paid, and it's very hard to make a lifestyle. But to me, again, professional to me is not an indicator of skill. Professional is an ability of monetization.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Brilliant.
That's why I'm saying, for me, a professional is somebody who is able to do something full-time in a way that they can pay most of their bills. Let's say most, because you never know. Sometimes you have a part-time job that is extra, but most of your bills get paid off of that job. For me, that's being a professional at whatever you do. It doesn't mean you're good at it, though. Has nothing to do with skill. There's a lot of professional whatever people that
I also agree with Wax.
Well,
and that's why I said Wax. To me, I guess, again, Sarah gatekeeps a little more than I do, because I agree professional is a mindset, and that's why I'm saying the definition is very simple. Once you've made money off of it, which, again, that cuts out 99% of most people that create music anyway, because most people will never make money off their music.
Unfortunately.
Well, and that's why I said it's still a gate. It's still a gate. Even on Twitch, it's a gate. You have to make affiliate. You have to get your first subscription. You have to maintain.
You can buy affiliate now.
What?
You can buy affiliate now.
Yeah, but you still have to get. If you're paying for it, now you're negative. You're not actually a thing.
Yeah.
But that is what I'm saying. I mean, some people believe. Again, everybody has their own definition, but I simplify it because I tend to be more inclusive in those definitions of things. Where I say that, it's very simple because the issue is that most people will never consider themselves professional, and most people will give up too early. Like especially musicians, most people will give up too early. Now, there is a point where some people should give up, or, you realize something's not working and it should be a hobby and not a business, or it should be a hobby and not your career path. But at the same time, professional to me just means someone that makes money off of their craft.
And and it doesn't mean that you're good at it, because you're saying like some people refuse to call themselves professional.
Yeah,
so if you make most of your bills with that, whatever you're doing, then you're a professional at that. Does it mean you're good? No, doesn't mean anything.
Like, to me, that's why you asked me, do I feel like I'm a professional musician?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
And I've produced work for other people. I've produced my own work. I have songs all over the internet. You can go find me, and that stuff exists.
Yeah.
I did want to answer, there were questions for me. Where did they've gone past. Stone Cold posted one. He was asking, what are, you were asked, Remo, I want to answer that because that's a quick answer. Do I think Milli Vanilli were professional musicians? I absolutely think that they were professional musicians. It's a weird story, obviously, of how they got there, but they sold millions of records, and yes, it was an industry creation. But the guy from Milli Vanilli, they were a professional act, and the guy from Milli Vanilli that ended up taking his own life had a short career after that. They both actually had music that came out. I disagree with that.
I would say they're professional entertainers and not professional musicians, because they don't actually do music.
They do. They did.
But they didn't.
They did. Following Milli Vanilli, they did. So after the scandal came out, both of them actually did music.
Oh.
Yes.
But at the time with Milli Vanilli, they were not professional musicians. They were professional entertainers. That's different.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, those are two different professions. Although, as a musician, you need to be also fairly okay.
Yes, during Milli Vanilli. I
entertainer.
mean, I'm familiar with the scandal of Milli Vanilli, and yes, I agree with that at the time. But they both actually did. They were professional musicians after Milli Vanilli, and again, a lot of that. The Milli Vanilli story is just a whole other ball of wax, because then you're getting into the label creation, you're getting into the people that weren't credited on that, and that's something that's happened a lot in the music industry. Like the other one is like CNC Music Factory, where Martha Wash, or whatever her name is, from the Weather Girls, was the real singer on that track, and they had a model appear and pretend that it was her singing. So that's something but that's been happening in the music industry since the 60s. There's all sorts of people that perform like that.
Yeah.
But the reason Milli Vanilli is a weird example, because both of them went on after the giant scandal and it came out that they weren't the singers. Both of them published music with their voices and their music afterwards. So yes, and they made money. Did they make Milli Vanilli money off of it? No. But they were professional musicians after that.
After that, okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the time, I would say they were professional.
No, at the time, yes.
Yeah.
Milli Vanilli's got to be more than 30%.
Northbound Matt, thank you, Northbound Matt. Stone Cold asked the question, Silence, growing up, who were your musical heroes? Who inspired you? Who did you?
Oh my God, that's such a deep. That's a huge question for me, and I'm sure I'll talk a bit about it on We Speak English Good. I don't know what kind of questions he asks, but what are you doing?
Doing nothing.
Anyway, so my musical heroes growing up, probably I think a lot about. Wax, you're a professional. Stop it.
You are a professional. What are you talking about?
I have like seminal bands for me. I have all sorts of inspirations, but then I have like seminal bands for me, like bands that when I heard them, they changed everything. So I think the first one of those bands for me was Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is obviously one of the biggest inspirations to me. I love 70s progressive rock, and I listen to a lot of stuff from that era. And Pink Floyd, as a young kid, I was super into that. Elton John would fall into that as well, like the 70s Elton John albums, Goodbye Old Brick Road. Madman Across the Water is actually my favorite Elton John album. There's so many good ones, but Elton John. And then really after that, I was very much into alternative rock. I was very much into alternative rock in the 90s. But the next kind of big game-changing band that came along for me was Depeche Mode. It's why I did a Depeche Mode tribute, because they were really the band that kind of blew open my doors as far as what I was listening to. And once I got into them, that kind of totally transformed my taste in music and got me listening to a lot of new things and a lot of different things, and I kind of went that direction. And then after Depeche Mode, probably the next really big seminal band for me was Within Temptation, and then Muse. And now I would say the biggest one now is the Deer Hunter.
The Deer Hunter.
The Deer Hunter
amazing.
and Family Crest, who Family Crest is amazing as well. They're amazing. So for me, those are the big inspirations. But I could talk. We never really have these conversations on the show because Sarah never talks to me about them. But I actually love to talk about music. So I do too. I could talk about music.
Have
for
you
hours.
actually heard of John Coltrane? His work with Thelonious Monk is pretty good. Thelonious Monk is a very odd musician. He's amazing, a genius. Have you listened to Thelonious Monk a lot? You haven't. Right?
I'm sure I have, but I couldn't pick it out.
He's very weird. Thelonious Monk. He writes in a very weird, almost atonal way.
Okay.
And his music is very, very interesting. His story is also very interesting. You can learn about a story a lot if you read Miles Davis' autobiography. If you guys are interested in actually just how the jazz scene was back then in the 50s and just Miles Davis' life, he lived until the 80s, I think.
Yeah, but does he play power chords?
80s something.
Northbound Matt, good question.
Does he play power chords?
That's true.
But Miles Davis' autobiography is very entertaining, even if you aren't interested in jazz.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
It's worth the read because it's very funny because you just see how much of an asshole Miles Davis was.
Yeah, that's what
he hated Prince, for example. Like, it's super funny the way he talks about Prince. He talks about a lot of people, and it's just a thick book, but I'm telling you,
lots of people that are successful,
read.
but we all know that lots of people that are successful in the music business are assholes, because the music business, for the most part, especially the old music business, is a pit of vipers, and everyone that's in it is out to fuck each other over. Like, that's the traditional business. So to kind of rise to the top, you have to do that a little bit.
Wax, I feel like you would appreciate Pharaoh Sanders, just Pharaoh like a Pharaoh Sanders. I feel like you would appreciate his music if you want to indulge in that. He worked with the late John Coltrane, and like I said, if you haven't read Miles Davis' autobiography, I highly, highly recommend it because again, it's not only interesting historically and just. Even if you don't care about Miles Davis as a person, it's an historical, very interesting.
Well, he's a seminal figure in music.
Yeah,
though,
and it's very it's just an interesting book, and it's musically also interesting for any musician.
Can I get F's in chat for Pet Fest, by the way? F's in chat for Pet Fest, please.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
That just made me laugh. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Don't kill it. Bees are important. But yeah, I really like. Order it right now. It's an amazing autobiography.
Time Life
so
Collection
funny.
presents
it's so
the Miles
funny.
Davis autobiography.
It's so fun.
Call
like, it's funny.
1-800-257-1234 for this phenomenal book.
No, I really love it. Like, legit. And everybody who read it loves it. I don't think anybody who
I would like it.
Yeah, I think we should read it together at some point.
Together? Are we going to read it on stream?
Read it out
Yeah, 6
loud.
easy payments. But if you order now, we'll cut one of those payments off, so it's only 5 easy payments of $19.95.
Fucking Pet Fest.
Listen, and I here's the thing about me. I have great respect for jazz musicians, and I have great respect for the history of music, and I understand that, jazz is like, you're a jazz musician, and I have great respect for jazz musicians. It just isn't what does it for me. And it's not like I would judge anybody for doing that. I'm even less judgy right now about people who like things that I would consider to be guilty pleasures or that kind of thing. Like, I used to be more of an asshole. I used to be more of a guy that was like, oh, if you listen to this band, you're an idiot. But at the same time, like, for me, it's just like, it just isn't what I'm into.
What,
like
jazz?
Yeah.
But like,
there's a lot of, I tend to like, progressive rock ventures into jazz a lot, I feel like a lot of prog rock gets into jazz time signatures, and a lot of the players have jazz and blues roots, and a lot of the classic rock that I like and listen to has blues roots and that kind of thing. That's a lot, Sammy. That's a lot.
But
okay.
I think if you are interested in the jazz history,
up,
you will learn a lot on the Miles Davis bio.
I would totally read that.
You will just learn a lot about music in general too. Because he lived a fairly long time, and he just talks about all those things. It's very, very interesting.
But
very, very
yes, no, and I'm very interested in stuff like that. I would definitely read stuff like that. It's just, for me, the seminal bands, as I said, are kind of a different thing. Like, I understand that everybody has their own taste, and I love this perspective. Even though we were talking about professionals earlier. One thing that I love, there's a quote that I heard once that I really love about people that become songwriters. And this quote, I can't remember who said it or where I read it, but it was basically saying most people who become songwriters because they have great taste, or they have particular taste in music. Yeah. So and I feel like I have a very particular taste and very strong opinions about what resonates with me and what I like and what I care about. And most people who write music have the same. And all of us are constantly expanding our taste, and our taste moves into different directions, and then it gets expressed in your next project or your next lyrics or the next things you work on or that kind of thing. And that stuff is, I love that definition of it, because it really makes me think that, most musicians that you sit down and talk to, or even producers that you sit down and talk to, can talk for hours about music because they have good taste. They have a taste, and so... I'm just a person that, in general, I like to talk to anybody that is passionate about anything. Like, even if I don't understand what they're talking about, but they're passionate about it, that I love talking to that person. Because I love to see when people are very enthusiastic about something, and I will follow along with that enthusiasm even if I have zero idea what they're talking about, which I really appreciate that.
But I feel like you were saying, I know you were making a joke, but I do talk a lot about music on this channel.
You do. I'm just teasing you.
We have made a lot of jokes, obviously, but we talk.
Yeah, we talk a lot about when you were on tour making music.
Yes. Did you know I was on tour?
Have you ever been on tour?
Yeah. Have you been on tour?
Cool. No. I haven't.
Well,
thanks.
That sucks.
That's why
on tour.
That's why I'm the co-host on Sarah Jazz's music show.
Shush your face. It's our show.
I'm teasing.
Face.
I'm teasing. Okay.
Shush your face. But
I love it.
Jazz actually. This is the thing about jazz. You can hate jazz. And I don't understand how anybody can say they hate jazz because there's so many different types of jazz.
I don't hate jazz.
Like, you can never say you hate jazz because what type of jazz are you talking about? Are you talking, and then people who say who hate jazz, like funk, for example, which is an undercategory of jazz.
Yeah.
Jazz is like a huge thing.
I don't hate jazz.
Or new jazz, like Thundercat. Thundercat is fucking amazing. Rafi, thank you for the follow.
No, and for me, it's not about hating it. And I just said that I know that a lot of the jazz that I've heard, especially the famous jazz, it doesn't resonate with me. Like, and I know when I'm being an asshole and I'm teasing Sarah and I'm making fun of it, a lot of
Skidding, thank you so much for
a lot of what stands out to me about jazz. I used to joke that so much of the jazz I've heard is just doodly doos. It's just guys masturbating on their instruments.
Which you mean bebop, basically.
Mostly,
when you say you hate jazz, you're saying
I don't hate
bebop.
jazz. I don't hate jazz. I've never said that.
Yeah,
I hate
but
jazz.
if you say you
the
don't
jazz
like
that doesn't
jazz,
resonate with me is dudes
bebop.
that jerk off on their instruments.
Is bebop. Which is bebop.
Like that to me, it's impressive. It's technically impressive, but I'm not big in like. There are a lot of there's a lot of metal guitar players that are like that I don't really resonate with their music. Incredibly technically skilled players, but I'm like, like their songs are that like I can get down with a guy that writes a 4-chord song in his bedroom and is really emotional about it more than I can with like an Yngwie Malmsteen album or something. Like Yngwie Malmsteen is a fucking guitar god, but at the same time it's like those songs don't resonate with me as much often as the guy that wrote 4-chord songs in his bedroom. Yeah. And that's just me, but I know that's me.
This is an interesting thing, though. We all, especially jazz, blues, and all those musicians, or rock. I mean, rock is also like sometimes you also only have like a few chords. But this is the very, very funny part. When I was making a background for the song by Etta James, which is a blues song, I'd Rather Be Blind.
Yes.
You know how many chords that song has? 2.
Yeah.
2 chords, and that song slays. So since I've done that, and before that, I always wrote my own songs.
Etta James,
and
her voice is what carries.
but it's still an amazing song. Like it's just a great song.
Yep.
And so talking about like so I don't talk about that anymore in a diminishing way anymore because it's like there are great songs that are just 2 chords. So
there's this.
Why are we talking about 4-chord songs?
There's this really good musician I know named the Silence Noise who challenged himself to write a song that is literally 1 note for over a minute, and he did it. And it's a song called No Friends.
Samba de uma Nota Só. It's a bossa nova by Antonio Carlos Jobim. It's literally called the samba of just 1 note.
Yes.
So that has been done.
And I love what Lunar Tides said. I want to comment on that. Lunar Tides is like some musicians get to a point where they actually like listening to their music. One thing I will say, you know what, Lunar Tides, it's taken me about 20 years to get to that point, and I actually do like to listen to a lot of my music now. I still hear things and it still bothers me, and there's still stuff that bugs me about it, you know? Where it's like, oh man, I messed that up, or I could have done this better, or the vocals could have been better. Yeah, you got 15 years to go, so good luck with that. And don't quit for 10 years like the Silence Noise. Don't be an idiot like me and quit for 10 years, which is what we all do.
A lot of musicians do that, though. I know a lot of musicians who have taken breaks of years.
Get a real job.
This is the thing. I am pretty sure that my fans before, and I also started on as an online creator.
Yeah.
When I started 3 years ago, I basically started from zero because my audience and my fans were all old people or jazz affine people who don't use the internet.
Did you ever have, Sarah, did you ever have, I have a very important question for you, because this is how I'm going to come full circle, and I'm going to tie together our opening topic with this topic, because it's important that we come full circle.
Sure.
Did you ever have any creepy old men take you home to their apartment to show you their jazz vinyl collection and offer you like expensive brandy, but they live in like a studio apartment and their apartment is just records, and they smoked cigarettes and told you about the old days? They're like, hey Toots, do you remember when when Benny the Fish Bahana recorded this at the Metro in 1974? You want to smoke in a brandy, Toots? It'll be really good. You ever had that happen to you?
I could have if I accepted going to people's houses from some strangers. I did that once.
I had this 1974
I
album.
did that once, and I already told this story, but we need to go to our guests.
We do.
I have a story that I'm gonna tell at some other point, but it was about a photographer / artist who
hey, Northbound Matt, take a note so we remember to come back to this topic.
Who was also had money, was living in a beautiful studio and shit, and he did some interesting stuff while I was there. It was very interesting. But yeah, those conversations happened after gigs with rich people who would just, they would just spend a drink or champagne or whatever, things like that, and want to talk to you as if you're a
what,
zoo
Goldie
animal.
Socks? You never ever go into some strange old man's house to hear about Benny the Fish Bagoo and his sax solo at the Paris Metro in 1972? I had this vinyl collection. I literally killed Louis Armstrong for this. I killed him, and I took his vinyl collection so that I could hear Benny in Paris in 1972.
I had actually the jazz audience. It's very interesting because the jazz audience will, after a gig, come to you, talk to you in a very, it's not even only old people, but also middle-aged people or young people who will come to you.
What?
This is why I don't talk, because when I talk, you laugh.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at chat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm stuck on Benny the Fish Magoo. I killed him and got away with it, and I'm still on the run to this day. Want to come back to my place and suck some sausages? You want a Pop-Tart? Toots, you need a Pop-Tart.
But there are people who will flex on you, the people that they had conversations with, which is very interesting. They will sit at the bar with you and be like, I had this conversation once with Benny Goodman, and he said blah, 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 and you're like, great. And then I had a conversation. I went to the concert of, I don't know, Sal Mystico or whatever, and then I talked to him about this and this. They probably are nowadays sitting with some other noob jazz musician and are like, I talked to Sarah Jazz about blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But it's very interesting because it's a weird world. But I forgot my point.
Oh, baby, it's a wild world.
Anyways, guys, I am so excited.
Reina Mystique!
So excited to present to you today.
Thank you for waiting for us to finish our topic.
That I am very excited to stalk. I'm very excited to stalk Reina Mystique. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Let's give it up.
I should have hooked with Louis Armstrong.
Mystique.
Yay.
What's up, y'all? The curtain is open. My name is Reina Mystique. I got my friends in chat with me. We are going to do a couple of songs for you, and the first one is called Stew. These are all original songs, obviously, so if you like them, you can find them online. I wanna kick back and watch the hours pass by. Smoke a L with my baby by my side if it's alright. You know I got the vibe. I wanna put you in the mood with some laid back tunes. Feed your body with this homemade stew if it's alright. You know I got the vibe. Waking up late on Sundays, roll that backward on the tray. Puff, puff, pass, shotgun my mouth. 2 minutes later, you working down south. The way the indica controls your mind, it's the way your hips move when we rockin' in time. Kick back and watch the hours pass by. Smoke a L with my baby by my side if it's alright. You know I got the vibes. I wanna put you in the mood with some laid back tunes. Feed your body with this homemade stew if it's alright. You know I got the vibes. Taking a walk in a wooded park, head off trail, ignite the spark. Puff, puff, pass, shotgun my mouth. 2 minutes later, you're working down south. The way the indica controls your mind, it's the way your hips move when we rockin' in time. Kick back and watch the hours pass by. Smoke a L with my baby by my side if it's alright. You know I got the vibes. I wanna put you in the mood with some laid back tunes. Feed your body with this homemade stew if it's alright. You know I got the vibe. Monday through Wednesday, our text game strong. Thursday and Friday make the week feel long. Hit you up on Saturday, ask you if it's coming over for that Sunday loving. I'll take away your sober. First things first, come in and have a seat. The way you're looking at me make my heart skip a beat. I've been waiting all week for the chance to be alone. I'ma get you in the room and let my hands start to roam. Kick back and watch the hours pass by. Smoke a L with my baby by my side if it's alright. You know I got the vibe. I wanna put you in the mood with some laid back tunes. Feed your body with this homemade stew if it's alright. You know I got the vibe. Yes, that we don't do that song very often. It's the most current song that I have released. It is called Stew. Also, thank you, Mom Jazz, for the follow. And Red Walrus, thank you for your follow as well. I'm super excited right now because we have 4 mods and 3 of them are in chat right now, which is like, it's kind of the equivalent of seeing like a lunar eclipse. So I'm very excited for that. The next song we're going to do is 2 Years. This is like kind of a sad boy song, I guess. So I'll do it for you right now. Two years, 5 months, 4 days. That's how long it's been. You should sneak away for a minute, baby. I just wanna hear your voice. There's so much I could say in a minute, baby. I just wanna hear your voice. No matter what we're going through, we're gonna work it out. No matter what we're going through, say we're gonna weather the storm. I'll be loving you. 2 years, 5 months, 4 days. That's how long it's been since I last saw your face. Baby, I'm so blue. What I wouldn't give just to see your face. I'm so tired of feeling blue. No matter what we're going through, we're gonna work it out. No matter what we're going through, say we're gonna weather the storm. I'll be loving you. No matter what we're going through, no matter what we going through. Say we gonna weather the storm. I'll be loving you. That song was called 2 Years. It says it right. How do you point when your camera's mirrored? Right there in the little box. I can't even do it. Does anybody know how to like point there? I found it. There it is. That was ridiculously hard. Thank you guys for those claps. I really appreciate it. That's one of my favorites too, so I really appreciate that. This last song is called Adventure. It was written in 2017 when myself and my son and my husband and my dog, we went on van life across the United States, and it was amazing. I can't wait to do it again. So this song is about our van life adventure, and I'm really excited to do this song with you right now because one of our most treasured community members turned it into a sing-along video. So the words are going to be on screen. So even if you've never heard this song before, you can sing along with us, which is really exciting. So I'm excited to come over and talk to you guys more in a little bit. Rafi, I'm so glad you love Adventure. You're going to love this video. I was so honored that the person who made it doesn't want me to say their name, but just know that I love you, person. So this song is called Adventure, and I hope you like it. I might have to refresh. Hold on. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. And this, the band that you're hearing is The Dynasty. I haven't played with them since COVID, but they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Let's run away with the wind at our feet. This is an adventure. If it's happiness you seek, well, come on my adventure. Windows down on Highway 5, best friend on the driver's side, what will we find? Happy faces we will meet, waking up on city streets or with the trees. 'Cause who says what's right or wrong? Every time were the first time, well, you'd enjoy it like the last time. If living was your pastime, you'd always have a way to pass the time. Let's run away with the wind at our feet. This is an adventure. If it's happiness you seek, well, come on my adventure. Got a van and fixed it up, finally free and now I'm living how I want. Minimize my monthly bills, now I spend my time enjoying life's cheap thrill. 'Cause who says what's right or wrong? If every time were the first time, well, you'd enjoy it like the last time. If living was your pastime, you'd always have a way to pass the time. Let's run away with the wind at our feet. This is an adventure. If it's happiness you seek, well, come on my adventure. Here we go, all together. Let's run away with the wind at our feet. This is an adventure. If it's happiness you Mystique. Well, come on my adventure. Gotta have a little shaker in there. I was just agreeing with Silence that jazz is not my favorite, and I kind of feel like a douche because my songs are super jazzy. Don't judge me. This is an adventure. I know. Yeah, da, 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 da. See that jazz solo? See, I was talking shit and now I messed it up. Hold on. This is my adventure, baby. This is, yeah, I went there, guys. I'm not ashamed. What I say in the dark, I say in the light. And jazz was the first music I learned how to sing. Well, besides Disney and Mariah Carey. This is an adventure. Oh, party, hey. Ya-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is my adventure, baby. All right, guys, let's drop the raid call. Let's go show Sarah some love. Let her professional shaker skills. Thank you, Northbound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank
so
you, Silence.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's now go to
Discovery!
the bulletin and see
The bulletin?
The bulletin board.
Just the bulletin. This is a jazz song too, right? This is jazz derivative.
Shut your face. Hey, get it, boy. Yeah.
That's right. Shibba-da-bop, pudding pop. That's right. It's all jazz. That was a jazz song. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just giving Sarah a hard time. Music Exposed Bulletin Board. First of all, as always, thank you so much to all of the contributors.
First of all, thank you, Reina, for the raid.
Also, thank you, Reina, for the raid. We'll get to Reina. Reina has a whole show coming
I'm just
up.
saying,
Reina can wait for 2 minutes, okay? You know what? Don't be impatient, Reina. This is my fucking show, okay?
I'm just saying thank you for the raid because you just raided
God.
Fancy Groovy for the
Just
follow.
get this out. Let's get it out of here. I'm
420
just
for
I'm
the
done.
follow too.
Fine. You know what, Reina? It's your show. Us women got to stick together. Fine. I'll leave. I don't need to be on this show. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
Dude,
yeah, calm down,
bulletin
Reina.
board and shut up.
Calm down.
I mean, don't. Just do it.
Hi. The Music Exposed Bulletin Board is where we expose new music from original artists that are also streaming on Twitch. If you have original music,
This is
that
boring.
you told me to look for it.
Change the channel.
Listen, okay. If you've got original music, or your favorite streamer, or anyone you know that does streaming music is releasing something new, or has a big announcement, or has a special stream, or something that we need to know about, that is exactly what the Music Exposed Bulletin Board is for. I keep a lookout for a ton of stuff, but I'm also very, very grateful to all of you that contribute every single week. As always, if you like finding new music and you want to hear new artists and new musicians and be involved in the scene, there are 3 channels you always need to know about. Five Hit Dune does Twitch finds every single Sunday, where he finds brand new Twitch music streamers every single week for you to learn about, and that's where I find a lot of my new music streamers now. He does all the research so that you don't have to. There's The Eargasm with LP, who does amazing music feedback, and it's always music feedback, so check her out at twitch.tv/TheEargasm. And then finally, Glasswegian, who is always such a major contributor to our blog. Craig does such an amazing job week in and week out gathering music, and he's always the one that provides the absolute most to our bulletin board every week. And then Mom, thank you so much for sending me stuff. Mom sends me stuff all the time as well when she sees announcements.
Awesome.
So all of you, please, one of the biggest ways that you can help the show and help the artists of the show and help the show keep growing is to please like and retweet those bulletin board posts. Like and share the music every time we get it out. Listen to that. And also thank you to Esky Beats. I always forget to mention him, but Esky Beats does such amazing work keeping up a Spotify playlist of all of the Music Exposed bulletin board releases. He updates it every single time we release a new bulletin board. So thank you so much, Esky, for that. And let's talk about what's new this week. So Sparky Synth, who's hanging out in the chat, just dropped a new album. It is called Live Improv 0.6. You can pick that up on his Bandcamp. All of the links to all of these things are at musicexposed.show, which is where our show is. So, and they are also saved with every single episode. So if you're watching this on a replay or you're watching this anywhere else, you can always find these bulletin board entries every single week. So all the links are always included with them. And that is at Sparky Synth's Bandcamp, and you can find that at musicexposed.show. Sunfire is becoming an original musician.
Ah, that's awesome.
So
That makes me
Sunfire
happy.
is dropping her new EP. It's called 2021. She has it on DistroKid and everything, so it's going to be on all the streaming
Nice.
services. Obviously, we all love Sunfire, and it's not what you would expect from her being a drummer. It's some like more lo-fi, kind of chill wave electronic stuff. So that'll be dropping soon. Make sure you check that out. And pre-save links. I know I lecture everybody during this segment, but please, when you see a pre-save link, just do it. It takes you 5 seconds, and it's so freaking helpful to the artist to have those saves and to have you listen to the track when they come out. It makes such a massive difference for artists, and it's something I actually want to talk about in the future on the show. I have a guest in mind that I want to come and talk about Spotify stuff, and I'm going to reach out to him because I want to talk about that. But that pre-save period and the first week of release on Spotify, if you like an artist, make sure you pre-save whenever they drop those links, and make sure you listen during the first week. So do that for Sunfire. Pre-save her link and do that stuff. Crow's Labyrinth just dropped a new track. We had his collab with Wolfgang Merks before, but this is a solo track and
Which
video.
you are hearing in the background
Oh,
right
it's
now,
playing
by
right
the way.
now.
Yes.
So Crow's Labyrinth is actually playing in the background right now, and he just dropped a new video and a new single called All Hope Is Not Lost. That YouTube link is up on the website, so check that out. Katie Dwyer, aka Mama Katie, a lot of you I know hang out in her chat, just dropped a new EP that's called Indiscreet. We featured her single a couple of weeks back that came off that, but now the EP is here, Indiscreet, so make sure you go check that out. It's a DistroKid link that's up there on that. And finally, Tyler Levs, another amazing musician that's been on Twitch, and I followed him since my early days of streaming, just dropped his new album that's called Songs for Being Alone, and he actually has his own website where you can go pick that up at tylerlevs.com. But this week's bulletin board, Sparky Synth, Sunfire, Crow's Labyrinth, Katie Dwyer, Tyler Levs, and as we mentioned, Wax Wayne is hanging out in the chat. He just wrapped up, he has a new album that's coming out as well, and just wrapped up his collaboration with Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park. Wax, you definitely deserved it, but Sarah Jazz was a close second with her 2 submissions to Mike Shinoda. So just remember that touring musician Sarah Jazz is on your heels to get that Mike Shinoda gravy. But again, pre-save Wax Wayne's new single that's coming out.
I tried with my 2 videos, but I think Mike Shinoda just ignored me. Although I had 2
no idea
really
why.
beautiful songs. First of all, I submitted Animal Crossing.
You did. It was
which
very
is
heartfelt.
a very awesome song. And
Yes.
then I think the second song was Gepalilipo.
Gepalilipo, yeah.
Gepalilipo is a very good
That's
song.
a very heartfelt song too.
It's a very
very
heartfelt song.
timely. It's a song
very
of
emotional,
this time.
and I put all my heart into it, and for some reason he didn't like it. I don't know why.
Yes.
Like, I
anyway,
even told my songs
please like and
sorry.
retweet the Music Exposed bulletin board with the real stuff that we do the show for, the actual content. And speaking of content, we have more content coming up. because Reina Mystique is here.
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited, Reina Mystique. If you cam up and unmute,
Yes,
that would
please
be awesome.
turn on your cam and
Thank
unmute
you
yourself.
so much.
Reina Mystique to the main stage,
Reina
please.
Mystique to the main stage, please. Reina Mystique.
There we go.
Reina Mystique.
Reina
to the main
Mystique.
Oh,
stage, please.
snap.
Oh, hi.
Yes, Reina Mystique.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Hi.
So,
How are
Reina,
you?
I'm just going to get right to the hard-hitting question.
Oh, okay.
I'm just punching you in the mouth right as we get out this. Have you, Reina, ever been invited by an old man to go back to his apartment and listen to his antique collection of vinyl jazz records when he told you about, someone like Benny the Fish Magoo playing at the Harper back in 1973? And did you accept that offer to listen to that jazz record?
As much as that is truly one of the top things that I pray for every night, unfortunately, it's not happened to me yet.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I know.
I wish I had the Price is Right fail. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah,
Why do
man.
you feel bad for me?
Yeah.
I know.
Why did you get that opportunity? Are you living my dream, Silence?
I am. I get invited
you
by
have-
old men back to their house all the time. That's actually the biggest perk of doing music on Twitch for me has been hanging out with old men in their studio apartments listening to classic jazz albums.
Oh.
Do
Yes.
you have to tell them to put the beans and weenies back in the can? That's the real question.
No, I never do. Because
You just-
I imagine that they just, listen, these men are so passionate about their music and their vinyl. I'm sure they have some special vinyl that they just, lube up with Vaseline, and vinyls have holes in them. So if you're that into records, that's probably what you do.
Yes.
Yes,
It makes sense.
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
So Reina Mystique, thank you so much for being here, and I'm sorry I had to jump right into it. And
Important
we know
business.
that you are very experienced. One thing I learned about you in this last week that I'm so happy about when we watched Sarah on We Speak English Goods podcast is you apparently are a veteran of music shows like this. Like you are a grizzled veteran because for a long time I heard you were the only guest on
Or
that
like
show. So
when
you
people say no. That's
yeah,
what-
no one ever said no. So like for the beginning of We Speak English Goods podcast, it was just Reina Mystique as the musical
just a
guest
big Reina
over and
Mystique.
over and over. How was
I
that?
wish that were true. Well, he started the podcast when I just had a baby. So I would be sitting in the house, like sad and lonely, while he was down in the studio with his friends, just drinking and boozing and having a good time on his podcast. So I actually had to beg to be on the show.
Oh, well, you can be, you know what, Reina, you can be on this show anytime. Anytime you want, Reina Mystique, you can just take over for Sarah
it,
Jazz.
English.
She doesn't even want to be on the show
Suck it.
anymore.
Yeah, I mean, she already told us that she doesn't want to be in the same studio with.
Yeah,
as her husband.
she might go on tour. Listen, Sarah might go on tour any day now.
I mean, maybe I just started drama, but that's what Music
Me and
Exposed is
Sarah
all
are
about.
actually going to start something.
Mhm,
Shots
yeah,
fired.
yeah,
Shots fired.
Yeah, and maybe you know what? You know how men are always banished to the basement. That is where We Speak English Good should be banished to. Just saying. You know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. With a pair of Crocs and socks.
100%.
Wow, We Speak English Good revenge tour coming with the silence noise on We Speak English Good on Friday. Live from the basement.
Fucked.
Yes, I know.
Let's be real. If you guys had the choice and it was the Sarah Reina show or the Silence English show, which one are you coming to?
Yeah, can we get a poll on that chat while I ask the
Can
next
we
question,
get a
please?
poll?
Warrior, pode fazer poll.
Hey, at least I know. At least I know Northbound Matt.
Which show would you rather watch? Sarah and Reina or Silence and We Speak English Good?
At least
That
I
is the
know
real
that Northbound
question.
Matt will be at our podcast. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Where's
We'll
his
have
poll?
Northbound
Northbound
Matt.
Matt would throw glitter for you guys.
I know no one. I've already. See, the funny part is, here's the hilarious part about that question. Sarah loves to pep talk me all the time, and she's like, oh no, people in the chat care about you, Silence. Everyone loves you. Watch this poll. It's going to be fucking 90-1 for your guys' podcast, and the one will be Northbound Matt. So, your pep talks suck. You're fired.
I'm sorry.
Die.
I'm very sorry. I really apologize. So,
Silence the English Good. Anyway, ladies,
I have
take
a
it away.
question.
Enjoy
I
your
have
new
a
podcast.
question.
Hey, does that if you guys are the new host, does that mean I get interviewed again?
No.
Is this, oh,
Shut up. Just let me
Bye.
ask my question. Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
So I want to go into something really serious because I thought about this while I was putting on makeup today. Because after our sound check, I was like, this is a thought worth having. This is a thought worth having.
Sometimes Sarah sits around by herself and she's like, this is a thought worth having.
Yes.
I'm thinking right now, what is this like? What is this reality?
I did study philosophy, That's also, did you know I was on tour? Anyways, what I was thinking in my own head while I was doing makeup, which is very important, is, I forgot. Wait, it's gonna come to me.
I can ask because I know what the topic is.
It's gonna come to me in a second. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Do you need me to whisper it in your ear? Do you remember?
No. Oh yeah, I know. So,
okay.
Do you feel like, because you in the sound check, we both were talking about how now if people ask us to play at their venue or any gig, we don't accept any gig anymore. We are more expensive now because we can just make money off of Twitch and just be at home, and we would rather just, do a show at home instead of having to travel and take all the gear and stuff like that for just, little pay. Do you feel like that mindset and that internet live streaming for musicians change the whole system of live gigs and the pay? Do you feel like that is a thing that could maybe revolutionize the way that venuers are exploiting musicians?
Absolutely, 100%. Like, there's gonna be like those diehards that are reluctant to get into live streaming, like musicians, and that sucks for them because we're gonna pave the way and be at the top when that time comes. But Twitch has completely spoiled me, and in my opinion, it's everything that a musician works for. It's the ideal setting. There's no wind, there's no sun, there's no hecklers, and even if there are hecklers, they're throwing emotes at you, and they're throwing small amounts of bits at you. It's great. And so and hopefully venues will, like when the pandemic first started, we were partnering with venues and doing live streams over their because they all have TVs and stuff, so we would do live streams in their bars via our studio. So it will be nice when that finally becomes mainstream, but until that happens, I'm just gonna keep being a part of the trailblazers. And obviously there were people that were years ahead of me, so I wish I would have got into it sooner, but I am not gonna twiddle my thumbs and wait around for gigs to come back, because A, Twitch is way cooler, and B, this is what's next, so why would you drag your feet waiting for something?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, because I was thinking about that today, because I didn't think about this before, because I have the same thought process where I was like, if you want me to play at your venue, Reina and Prani Sarah, see, that's the poll of that one. Yeah.
Shocker.
I'm sorry.
But
shocked. You did have 2 votes.
I'm shocked that no one fucking cares about me, which is what I say on stream all the time.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that was Warrior and Northbound Matt who voted for that.
I'm sure Warrior didn't vote for me.
English probably got in on that.
He probably voted for himself, yeah.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. So now you can shove all those pep talks up your ass, chat, for anybody that says that I matter on this stream.
Oh my gosh,
Thanks.
Shut up.
I mean, we all like salt, but a little pepper, it's cool.
No, I don't know pepper.
But yeah, I was thinking about that because I also now, if somebody wants me to play a gig for them, I'm like, yeah, okay, great, but pay me right. And I didn't realize that other musicians did that too, especially people who had experience gigging before. So obviously you have a different mindset on that. So you don't accept underpaid gigs anymore because you have Twitch. And I think that's an interesting thing, that live streaming is just maybe is going to revolutionize the way that venuers pay musicians now, because
I don't think that at all.
Okay.
I think that I think venues, I think actually post-COVID, what I'm interested in seeing is that I feel like there will be a class of musicians like you guys and people who were formerly touring musicians that somehow managed to parlay it into a successful career on Twitch. But I think post-COVID, venues are going to try to get, especially in the US, are going to try to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I think that COVID will be used a lot as an excuse to underpay musicians, because there's always an
Yeah.
excuse. There's always some reason. It's always the bar. It's always this. It's always that. I think there will be a brief boom, but I also think that the other issue is that a lot of musicians are going to find there just aren't as many venues to go back to. So many music venues I know of, even in big cities, have closed for good as a result of this. Will there be opportunity for new venues to open? Absolutely, but in some ways the industry is decimated. So I'm very curious to see
What about the patron though?
What about what?
As well, what about the patron? Because you know, there's something really awesome about being so interactive with, and I've done live learns at gigs for years before coming to Twitch, but it's completely different.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that was how we made most of our tips. We were like, hey guys, you want us to play a song? What's up? What you got? So the audience was very involved in a lot of our streams, but I mean, obviously there were some gigs where people were just like drunk watching whatever, and they'd come up to you and be like, we really like you because we can talk over you. You're not, you know, you're not imposing. That was like a big compliment we got with a lot of our live gigs. But I think that the patron as well is going to realize that like I can have a connection with this person. We can be in the Discord together. We can become friends. I can affect their set list. We can, like, it's such a different relationship that even myself as a musician, to be a patron of the arts is completely different on Twitch, and I appreciate it a lot more. That live gigs are great, but like I don't really know how many live gigs I'm gonna seek out necessarily because of Twitch.
Yeah. The other issue that I have with that is that it's cutting out a whole group of incredibly seasoned professionals when you eliminate live music from the picture, which is audio technicians and lighting designers and stage designers.
Yeah.
My sister is a professional stage manager, so it's like I know a lot of people who do those, and it will exist in some capacities.
Yeah.
The larger venues will exist in some capacities, but yeah, I mean, in live music, there's often a lot more than the musician involved in it, which I love. For me, my music couldn't exist without Twitch. And I've talked about this on, it couldn't exist if I couldn't be a one-man band and find a way to perform. Like, the live show experience would need a lot added to it for it to even be viable for what I'm doing. And so it opened a door for me and a lot of other people who are like me that live performing just really isn't an option, or it wasn't a great option.
Yeah.
Like, I can do it, but it wouldn't be great. But at the same time, like, for me, I lament to some degree that, especially in the U.S., where the U.S. musicians and the music industry is just so undervalued and underpaid and underappreciated, and my concern is that it's going to get worse. And I love musicians that have had the attitude of find the next big thing, get into streaming, figure that out. But even a lot of the larger acts that are getting into streaming right now aren't really streaming. Like, they're literally just filming concert performances, or they're doing things. They're not necessarily interactive in the way that Twitch is. When you see, like, you look at the big bands that are doing it, like Foo Fighters just did one, and you look at that and they're still doing the same model. But I do agree personally, obviously, that Twitch is the next big thing for it. It's just, there's ups and downs.
The playing field has been leveled. It's been completely leveled, because you can see artists like Autopilot have way more people in their stream than someone like Questlove.
Yeah.
So it's completely been leveled, and this is the first time I think in my lifetime, and I've been a musician, I've been performing for, almost 30 years now.
Nice.
That an artist can be in control of their own destiny, and you don't have to hear no from bookers.
Yeah.
You don't have to hope to get a good spot in a festival anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally in control of your own destiny, and that's really exciting and really empowering, and something that I think that even musicians who are reluctant to get into it, once they finally do get into it, are going to realize, like, wow, like, this is something special and magical that never could have existed in any other time.
Yeah. I agree. I agree
with that.
I actually have a question. How do you feel about, I have a lot of questions. What am I talking about? I actually have a question. Wow, okay. Hello, welcome.
Yes.
I have one question. How do you feel about the music community on Twitch? Do you feel a lot of support? Do you feel like there's a lot of maybe jealousy or something, or drama, versus the music community in real life, around the music scene that you gigged with?
Twitch is way cooler. Twitch is 100% way cooler. there is so competitive and I think Twitch will eventually get that way, because I know that the music community is still relatively small compared to the other communities.
Right.
But the IRL scene, or the pre-COVID scene, was so competitive, and you'd have people like, and I'm not going to say that I didn't do this, but you'd have people go to your calendar and look at all the places you were playing and then just call all those places.
Yeah, of course.
And try to book your gigs, and so things like that happen, and you work together with some people, but everybody's kind of on this like solo grind.
Yeah.
Whereas Twitch, you have somebody just show up in your, hey, we're done streaming, here's hundreds of people.
Right.
Have fun.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's mind-blowing, and it's completely different than anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that you have a big event coming up next week. It's next Tuesday, right? Give us the exact time. So you're going to be featured on the front page of Twitch. Tell us a little bit about that, so that everyone knows, obviously, when that is and when to be looking out for you.
Yes, it is this coming Tuesday, so in a couple of days. It will be from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I normally stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 a.m., so it's my normal time.
Perfect.
And the theme of the stream is celebrating Black musicians, so I will only be playing music that was originally recorded by Black artists.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm
That's amazing.
really excited about that.
And so I imagine it's a sensitive topic to talk about, but I'm, of course, very curious to know, have you experienced, I don't think we haven't had, and it's something that we've wanted to do. One thing that's interesting about Twitch music in general is that it isn't that diverse. It's getting more diverse over time.
Right.
And have you experienced, or do you feel like you've had a unique experience related to that, being a musician on Twitch? Do you find that there are different challenges? Because you have the double whammy, obviously, of being a woman on Twitch first and dealing with all the shit that comes with that. Do you have to deal with other stuff related to that? Or do you find that it's been helpful to you or unique for you in any way? Like, what do you notice about Twitch and in relationship to that? And I'm sure you'll be talking about it a lot on Tuesday, too.
Yeah. Well, I'm an older Black woman.
Yeah.
So it's like a triple whammy, because if you're 20 and you're white, like, congratulations, especially if you're 20 and you're white and you have a mental health issue. Like, you're golden. That's your golden ticket into Twitch. Which it's a sad thing to say.
Just hand that girl a ukulele.
Right, exactly. Let her start looping, baby. She's in.
That's right.
But no, so to be almost 40, to be Black, and to be a woman, I was like, damn, well, where's all the Black women? Like, I couldn't find them on Twitch. I think there's maybe a handful of us.
I know one. I legit know. I think I only know one other Black woman that streams on Twitch, Marion Berries. I don't know of anyone else. Do you?
There's Amelia Ray. There's Dan.
Love you, loves you.
Love you, loves you.
Yeah, love you is.
Love you.
And there's somebody who is starting streaming.
But that's that like the fact we have to think this hard about it and be like, who is out there? It's
right.
like,
Yeah, right.
no idea.
It took me months. And it's starting to be a thing. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of stoked. Like, if I can be a pioneer of Black women on Twitch,
Hell
like,
yeah.
bring it.
Yes, awesome.
Hell yeah.
I'm here for that. So.
Yeah. And how do you feel? Do you feel like? I forgot my question.
I'm Sarah Jazz. I have a question. Good for all of you that voted for the Sarah Reina show. Enjoy, Sarah,
Reina,
for getting all your questions.
You're in for one.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
No, Ziggy, I didn't call you old. I called us older. Which personally, you guys, anyone who's a Grundy, which is our community, knows that I love aging, and I love the wisdom and the experience and the maturity and just the insight and the hindsight, and I love being older, and I would not want to go back to it. So it's not older, but it's let's use the word seasoned. How's that?
Yeah.
Wow. You did say you like pepper. See, me, I like getting older because I become more and more immature. And so my hope is that when I'm like 60 or 70, I will be the most immature person in the world.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
That's
my dream.
See, now I have a question, because you were saying immature. So I noticed that on your streams you're very funny. You put a lot of comedy into your streams too. Do you feel like Twitch has helped you in a way as an entertainer
and slash also comedic entertainer, or comedic streamer, musician. Do you think Twitch has helped you for future venues now when you actually do go on stage again? Do you feel like you have more confidence or have maybe a different program now because of Twitch?
Yeah.
I definitely think that the crowd interaction, like it was there before, but definitely like there's that need to keep playing the music to keep the people there because that's what you're there for. But I think like if I do go back to gigging, and that's like a kind of a big if, but if I do go back to gigging, there's gonna be definitely more crowd interaction, and I'm interested to see how that works. But what's interesting is that I've been teaching voice lessons, music lessons online for the past 6 years. So I think that prepared me for Twitch because I've been talking to a screen for so long that the transition to Twitch was very natural.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see if and how that translates to real life because, I really appreciate Twitch trolls and I just don't really care for like live drunk people like at all.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Kind of understand
that's something that I don't know how I feel about going back into that.
No, that makes tons of sense. Well, and especially if you're comfortable in that environment, that makes total sense to say like, again, and plus but what was interesting, I was saying this in the chat, and I would be curious if you feel this way too. I do feel like obviously because so many musicians are used to the paradigm of playing concerts and doing that kind of thing, that like that's what the live music industry is. But I really do feel like Twitch is a different thing. And anybody, just because you're good at a good musician and or a good entertainer and or successful, like touring musician Sarah Jazz, doesn't guarantee that you will be successful on Twitch. They're almost like different things because on Twitch you have to have a different skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be you have to like really be, you have to know who you are as a person because you can't fake who you are for hours and hours when you're talking to your community on Twitch. And so if you're a badass musician but you suck as a person, Twitch is not for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Also as an entertainer, I feel like, and this is what I always say, Twitch is primarily, even if you are a musician on Twitch, primarily it's an entertainment platform. If you can't entertain people for 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, then you're not. It's just not the platform
for you. Totally agree.
And you can be as proficient as whatever, but then you can be a boring entertainer, and everyone's gonna be like, okay, well.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
Or as a gamer, right? You can be mediocre at a game or mediocrely good, but not entertaining. Nobody's gonna watch you. You know?
And I think there are plenty of gamers that are very successful that are not even that great at games.
Yeah,
because they're entertaining. So that's true with music too. There's a lot of big music streamers that aren't necessarily the most skilled musicians on Twitch that are huge for doing what they're doing. So people make it for all sorts of different reasons, whatever it is. But I want to talk about your journey because obviously you've had some crazy stories and we haven't talked a lot about them. So you and I did the opposite thing. I grew up in the Midwest and I grew up in Detroit. You actually live pretty close to Detroit now. And then I moved out west and you started out west and you moved to the Midwest. So tell us a little bit about that. First of all, what was it that drew you to the Midwest and how did you end up there and what happened once you got there?
So I am an R&B artist, which I was talking shit about jazz. I started out as a jazz artist. But I'm an R&B artist and I'm from San Diego and I've lived there pretty much my whole life besides college and now. And it's a very jazz and reggae scene. And so I was working as an artist, like a full-time artist, but it was like literally pulling teeth to get gigs because it was like, oh, you do R&B? Well, are you white? Because our tourists aren't going to like you if you're doing R&B and you're black. That's too authentic.
Oh, wow.
So it was just this really frustrating thing. We started doing research and the Midwest had so much love for R&B music that it was just like, I just feel like I would be happier if I was somewhere where the genre that I was doing was appreciated. So we van lifed and we went across the U.S. and
that's awesome.
So some people might not know what van life is. So what is van life? What does that mean?
Van life is where you get rid of everything and you move into your van and you live in your van and you travel and you do whatever you want. And sometimes you park your van in a park. Sometimes you park your van on a street. Sometimes it's living in your van. Basically.
Living in a van.
I say that the only difference between van life and being homeless is that van lifers usually have the gas to keep going.
Yes.
Whereas like being
Yes.
homeless
Yeah.
is like with my van. So that was kind of the big difference. So I was teaching lessons while we were van lifing, and that was how we were making money, and we were doing gigs along the way, and it was really awesome. And we landed in Detroit because Detroit was like, I talked about van lifing for a year. So everybody at that time, it was in my Facebook community, and
Easy
they were like,
Elias,
you
thank
gotta
you so
go
much
to
for that
Detroit.
raid.
You gotta go to Detroit. And so I'm like, okay, cool, we're gonna go to Detroit. And so after months of being all over the US, we get to Detroit, and I'm just like, I don't know. Detroit's a little gutter. Like it's a real ass city.
I know. I'm familiar. The silence noise came from there. That tells you a lot.
You know? But real ass people, which is great,
That's
you
true.
know.
Yes.
But just I don't know if it was where I needed to be. So we ended up in Toledo, which is about 40 minutes from Detroit.
Right.
And so we were doing all of my theater work for the most part, all of our music gigs for the most part were throughout Michigan.
Yeah.
And it was great. I mean, it was so easy. It was complete night and day. Like obviously we had to break in, and we were new, so people were kind of like, well, who are you? But word spread really quickly, and it was just so much easier to get gigs. It's like, hey, we do R&B, great. Can I put you down for like 10 nights? And it was just like, okay,
Yes,
great.
exactly.
So it was just this
Awesome.
totally different experience.
Yep. So what
and
is
then
your
the
thoughts?
pandemic hit.
What is your
First of
thoughts
all,
before you go
sorry,
there? Go ahead.
Easy Elias, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate that. Oh, your stream was amazing.
Yes.
That's all
So,
Easy Elias.
so what
Yeah.
have you found? Because I want you to go into that, but before COVID, what do you feel like is unique? Obviously, you said Detroit was very welcoming for that. I obviously have a lot of opinions on the Detroit music scene, having grown up there as well. What has been your feeling about kind of the Detroit music scene and what you've experienced there, and what do you notice about it that's different than other places? Obviously, as you said, way more receptive to R&B, but what have you noticed about it in general?
So I don't live in Detroit,
Right.
so I wasn't really hanging out with a lot of musicians there. But it's just it's a different sound. First of all, there is jazz there. There's really not a lot of reggae, which is something that was like
No.
really big in San Diego. So the absence of reggae is one of the things I noticed. The audience is completely different. Something that I noticed right away was that when I was in San Diego, it was like, oh my God, can you play Corinne Bailey Rae? Can you play like 311? Can you play like Sublime? You know, like those kind of things.
I hate
And when I got
Sublime.
to the Midwest, it was like, can you play Tracy Chapman?
Yeah.
It's just a completely different scene. I found that people of different color than me appreciated old R&B, like
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
Motown, like
Oh yeah.
like that's something that you just don't get on the West Coast. And so to have people of a certain style come up to me and be like, can you play XYZ? It was like, oh, for real?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
snap. Okay, here we go. And people were very appreciative of the music, where San Diego is a very, and Southern California in general is a very touristy kind of area. So everyone who's there is on vacation, they're expecting. And it's kind of just like, well, we came here for this. Whereas in the Midwest, it was just kind of like, hey, thank you for playing this. We don't normally get like your kind of style of music. So thank you. And it was really awesome. It was kind of refreshing, and it made me feel like we made the right choice
Yeah.
in moving.
I actually, and I tell people this all the time, I think Detroit is one of the top music scenes in the world. I'll say that to
Yes,
people. A lot of people don't
absolutely.
realize that, but Detroit has a little bit of
Yes.
everything. And if it does, and Detroit is also a pioneering city, which is what makes it amazing. A lot of people don't realize, like, a lot of the foundations of electronic music started, basically were traded
Electronic
back and
music.
forth.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
and so Detroit in
Yes.
Canada had a lot of that. A lot of hardcore. The garage rock scene got really big there. Indie rock is super huge there. R&B, obviously because of the Motown history, is huge there. Jazz is huge there. Again, with family of jazz musicians that live there. Pretty much anything imaginable. I actually do know of a tiny reggae scene. I hate reggae though, so I'm not going to hang out there. But I do know of a reggae scene. But Detroit is, I think, in terms of music. What's amazing to me is I've lived in a number of other major cities. Boston probably being the biggest of them. But obviously, I've been to a lot of places, and I actually feel like the Detroit music scene is more open than almost all of them, which is what's interesting to me. There's something for everybody. There's so many venues. It's just amazing what's possible.
I have a question that relates to that.
Yeah.
How did you experience these three, let's just call it three places. We have California, the Midwest, and Twitch. Where did you feel like there was more racism towards you? Did you feel like do you feel like there is more on
Definitely
Twitch
Southern California.
Okay.
Southern California.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
so interesting.
I mean,
Definitely
San Diego's
Southern
affluent, though. That's the other thing to think about. That
it's
especially
a rich,
now.
white Republican city.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
California is, in general, is way more rich white Republican than people realize. Especially, I was just talking about that on another stream where I was saying that most people don't realize how conservative Hollywood actually is. It's that most
So
people,
conservative.
they sell the liberal image, and a lot of the creators and actors and those types of things sell that kind of left image. But all the money in Hollywood is rich white Republican conservative.
I'm
money.
from Europe, so I don't know. So
Yeah,
it's
so
for
it's
me.
interesting.
California is portrayed as a liberal place,
Which
you know?
it is.
So it's
It
interesting.
is.
It's very interesting to me.
It
I mean,
is
when you get
in
to
some
Northern
areas, yes.
California,
Yeah.
when you get to like San Francisco, like those kind of areas, the Bay Area, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot more liberal because it starts to get closer to like Oregon and Washington.
Yep.
But when you hit like Long Beach, like
Yeah.
it's rich right Republican.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
all there is there.
That's crazy.
Absolutely. And we speak English good is accurate that San Diego is a big military base, basically, yeah. And
Yeah.
so, no, but that's very interesting that you said that. That's actually, it depends, because I have told people, and my experience of Detroit is that Detroit definitely, it was, at one point, I really believe it was the most racist place in the world, or one of them. The reason I say that is because Detroit has literal dividing lines, where things were divided. And if you go into the history of the city and all those types of things, you can find out so much about it. But I do think that has changed, because Detroit is more of a melting pot. And I think that, a lot of the other stuff has been pushed out because of white flight into the suburbs and into that stuff. So it's still very strong in Michigan, just not as strong in Detroit.
So
as it was, yeah.
And there was a big
No, continue.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
There was a big exodus a couple of years ago. It was really interesting. There was a lot of artists fleeing the coast, like the New York side and the California side, and moving to the middle.
Yep.
So there is, I think, going to be like a big renaissance in the Midwest. I'm
sure.
already seeing it.
Yes.
The music scene has grown even since I've been here, and it's really exciting. And I don't think people are talking about it, which is really
Totally
cool.
agree.
Obviously, like things have changed in the past year, but there was a huge exodus, and now Texas is another place where I think a lot of artists are going to go
Yep.
as well.
True.
And that's exciting because it's going to shake things up completely.
Well, yeah, it's because
so
who the hell can
interesting.
afford to live? This is the issue that you have in all the major cities in
Yeah.
the U.S. And the hilarious part about it is so much of it was people kind of moving to the cities for the cool stuff in the cities. Like you move to Austin, or you move to New York, or you move to whatever for the culture, and
Yeah.
then the culture gets chased out because the culture can't afford to live there anymore. It's like artists can't afford to live
Yeah.
in Austin anymore because of how expensive it is. So of course they go to the Midwest, or they go to wherever's cheap. And again, Detroit has been that city. Like you said, Detroit is known as kind of a gutter. And Detroit has been that city for as long as I've been alive. There's some renaissance in those areas, but 40 years of being in that position, it sure creates a hell of a lot of interesting art. And it's been going on way longer than that.
I mean,
it's been forever. So yeah,
I've never in my life had depression until I moved to the Midwest.
interesting.
I mean, maybe I had postpartum depression and I didn't know it, but I never experienced depression until I moved to the Midwest. And I wrote some of my best music during that time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
shout out to the Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Shout
why
out
I was
to-
so
to
inspired
depression.
too. I feel it. Go ahead, Sarah.
And actually, what C. Twitty said, artists bring the culture. That's very true.
It's
I
true,
agree with that,
and then people. It's hilarious. It's my uncle is an architect, and he likes to talk about this all the time. That the rich people come in, they build the McMansions, and they chase away all the people that they wanted to have the culture anyway. So it's like you just end up with TGI Fridays and Applebee's everywhere, and they chase out everything else, and then it goes somewhere else. And what's interesting about Detroit is that hasn't ever really happened in Detroit, and I think that is because Detroit is so fiercely protective of their identity, and I have that too. Like, even though I don't live there anymore, I still feel like a Detroiter, and when I'm in Detroit, I'm home, and everyone that's from Detroit is like, I'm fucking Detroit. So it's like, because they are
I've
advertising it
never
constantly.
seen so much pride for a city until Detroit. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
people from Detroit have so much pride. It's cool and it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little scary with it.
I want to go a little bit back to your roots. Who are your biggest influences? Please tell us about that.
My biggest influence is Mariah Carey because, she was a mixed race artist.
Yep.
And that was huge. I was like 8 when she came out, and her and Vanessa Williams, I was just like, oh my God. Like,
That's a
this
name
is
I
what
haven't heard in a
want
long
to do.
time, Vanessa Williams.
And she can sing. She could sing.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
is she so underrated?
Yeah.
So they were definitely my big influences. And then I would have to say my grandmother was my other big influence because
Aw.
I remember being 7, 8, 9, 10, and she would take me to jazz jams and she would tell everybody, this is my granddaughter, she's a singer. And so all the artists would be like, come here, let me show you how to do this. If you can just learn, one song a month from the real book, like you'll be an artist. And it was just this really important part of my progression into being an artist. And then more currently, John Mayer is really fantastic. Jamie Cullum is super awesome.
I love Jimmy Cullum.
Miguel. There's a bunch of really awesome artists, but those two were the biggest ones growing up.
Nice.
Which Vanessa Williams? Vanessa Williams, the singer. Vanessa Williams. No, Vanessa Williams, the astronaut.
Astronaut.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, just following up to that question, who are people that inspire you on Twitch?
Raquel. I love her music. Most of the people that inspire me on Twitch do original music. Like, I think covers are great, but when you can see an artist thriving with their original music, it's amazing. So I love Raquel. I love Annie Green. I love Liz Vega. I love Sarah Jazz. I think Sarah Jazz is dope as fuck.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think if there's any other artists that I really like Autopilot and his vibe, but he doesn't do original music, and so there's like that little hitch there.
Yeah.
So I would say those are like the biggest ones. I'm forgetting like one of the hugest influences on Twitch, the Fantastic Plastics. I love them so much. They are their own lane, and it is every time I watch them, I'm just so inspired by what they do.
Nice. I just asked 2 questions in a row. It's your turn.
Oh, I was talking a ton about Detroit, so I'm like,
You're just
I'm
like
letting
in
you go ahead.
Detroit mode right now?
No, I
You
just
don't want to
it's-
know
I-
anything else about Reina? You just want to talk about Detroit?
Yes, that's it. I don't want to talk to Reina at all. That's right. You guys kicked me off the show. Just talk to each other. No one cares about me anyway.
Oh, shush
so
your face.
The poll proved it.
Shush your
I
face.
think there was 15%.
No, it wasn't even that.
Yeah. No, there was definitely 69 votes for you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
100%.
My favorite hot dish is mac and cheese.
Reina's favorite hot dish recipe is mac and
Mac and cheese.
cheese.
Huh? Really? That's such a simple dish, though.
You gotta go simple in the Midwest. These people are crazy. They'll put like raisins in there. Like,
Ew, that's
Like,
disgusting.
why are there raisins in your savory food? I can't.
I hate raisins.
I'm not a fan of Midwest food. You eat raisins?
I hate raisins.
They're
Like,
nature's candy.
no, raisins are horrible. They're like shriveled, like just eat grapes. You know what I mean? Like, they're horrible. It's fucking terrible. You know when you want to eat like a cinnamon bun or something, or like a cinnamon, something.
Dorito salad.
And then sometimes you think there's like cookie chips in there, but no, it's raisins, and you bite into a shriveled raisin, and you're so disappointed. You're like, I thought this was a chocolate chip. It's horrible. I hate
Who
raisins.
puts chocolate chips in their cinnamon rolls?
Nobody, but you might
Probably
be
wouldn't be
stupid
bad,
like me and think, maybe it's a chocolate chip. It's a raisin. It's horrible. I hate it.
It's because you're blind.
That's very true.
Let's just speak facts. You
Yeah,
know?
it's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you could see, you would realize it was not a chocolate chip cookie. I think I'm the only one that I don't mind raisins. I don't have a problem with raisins, okay?
Would you eat raisins in mac and cheese?
Why would you put that in mac and cheese? That doesn't even make any sense.
Look, the Midwest
I don't know.
is
Would you
weird.
eat? Would you eat raisins in you know, what else can we throw it in?
said that they put in the Midwest. They put raisins.
People in the Midwest are weird. They mix raisins into savory food. They put carrots in their Jello. They put cream in everything. I can get behind everything in the Midwest except for the food. It's garbage. Sorry.
I'm just.
Oh, oof! I think you just made an enemy.
I'm not gonna go there.
You just made an enemy. Please,
That's fine.
please tell us silence. Please.
Look, I already knew I was gonna make enemies, but look, it's the one thing. I love the snow. I love the people. I love wearing flannels and duck suits. I'm here for that whole lifestyle. But miss me with the food. Like, look, I will go to like a potluck or something, and it's like, oh, well, that looks interesting. And they're like, well, let me tell you about that. My grandmother one time decided she was gonna make a recipe, and it's like sour cream and like grapes.
Yeah.
Why is this a family tradition, and why are you telling me about it?
Yeah, tell us how she's
About how my grandmother made sour cream and grapes? What? It's a family tradition.
Tell us about
Come
how
on, it's a
Reina
family
is wrong.
tradition.
Why is Reina wrong?
Why do you hate my
Silence?
grandmother, Reina Mystique?
Look, I could just call it like it is, bro.
Oh, I see.
So what do you have to say? Like, do you like he always rages about Midwest food. So this is interesting. This is interesting. Yeah.
His family has one of those recipes.
No, my family sucks.
100%.
My family sucks. My family couldn't cook at all. It has nothing to do with cooking. My
Yeah.
family couldn't cook anything.
Yeah. So you went out and just
Look,
restaurants?
Midnight even said it. We put raisins in some dishes.
Yeah.
Well, desserts, yeah, but not dishes.
Raisins and rice pudding is a common thing. I like raisins and
Well,
rice
that's
pudding.
sweet. That's not savory. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell have I ever had raisins in that's savory. I can't even think of anything. You've been hanging around some weird ass people. Then again, you're in Ohio, not Michigan, so.
I'm in Ohio.
So I'm just saying, okay? Just saying.
I do love the coney.
Yes.
I want to try it so
It's
bad.
iconic.
I want
It's
to
an
try them
iconic
so
thing.
bad. So, speaking of this, because Silence doesn't want to ask any more questions, did you ever have drama with a Twitch streamer?
No, I don't have drama.
Ever.
I don't got time
You
for
got
that.
drama now.
I'm a grown ass woman. Yeah.
You got drama now.
First of all, you come on my show and try to kick my ass off my own show. Then you talk shit about my hometown. You call it a gutter. Then you talk shit on the food. Fuck that noise.
Look,
I'm just
I don't
kidding.
have drama. I got Grundy. Thank you, Brendan. Thank
That's right.
you. We throw panties in stage around here, all right?
That's fine. That's fine. I don't need it. I'm not here
So
for
you
it.
never had drama on Twitch? Like, there's no, or on Twitter or anything related?
No, I don't have drama.
You just don't have, you don't,
I don't.
ain't nobody get Tom for that, right?
I don't.
Yeah. But you
I
have
smoke
drama
way too
now.
much weed to be wasting time. Yeah. I got drama now. Who I got?
Yeah, with him.
I got,
Here,
Yes,
Silence.
very
I got drama with silence.
That's fine.
Silence that noise, bro.
But the thing you've already learned about me is the thing I already know about myself is that no one gives a fuck about me anyway. So it's like having drama with no one. It's like, so there you go. It's like having drama with no one. I'm just a voice in your head, girl.
He did.
I don't have drama. Look, I don't have drama with my family on IG. I have one brother who unfollowed me because I show my tits too much. That's not drama.
Same!
Ah.
Same! Girl, same! Legit same! My brother called me the other day after I came back from America and he was like, Sarah, I have to tell you this. I unfollowed you on Instagram
Well,
because
you guys
you
have
show
fun.
your titties too much.
Bye. Have fun.
Oh, shit, I almost fell out of my chair.
Where are you going?
Leaving.
Why?
Go ahead. Continue.
Come back, please.
Continue your show. Have fun. Have fun with your girl talk.
You can show your tits too. Get back here. What you
Yeah, he
need?
can show his tits too. But legit, that was what he said. He was like, he was like, I don't, did he have to talk with you too?
He was like, I just want you to know that I'm not following you on Instagram anymore because I don't like what you're doing. And I was like, damn, for reals, bro? That's kind of messed up. Like, what do you mean? He's like, you know what I mean. And I was like, well, fuck you too. You whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, thank you so much, by the way, a warrior, for the 101 bits. He legit he asked me, he was like, are you proud of what you do on Instagram? Are you proud? Are you legit proud? I was like, What? And he even told me, this is the
If
funny
you haven't-
Sorry, he even
ahead.
told me, he was like, you know, if you did something like aesthetic, then I would understand. But it's not aesthetic, it's just cheap, Sarah. It's just cheap. The way you're showing yourself on Instagram is just cheap.
I love your thought character. I think
Thank
she's
you.
dope.
Thank
she's
you.
strong and independent, and I love her.
Yeah, she just has bouncy titties, you know what I mean? But anyways,
You grew them, you wear them, you do
yeah,
what you want with
exactly,
them.
exactly. Oh, there we go. Silence is back.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you so much,
It's
Moira,
nice
for
to have
gifting
you
that
here.
up to We Speak English Good.
Well, welcome
Is it
to
still
our
happening?
show, Silence.
Oh, it's still going on.
No, we're totally. Do you have a question? Hi, welcome to Music Exposed. This is a
great.
show where we talk about
Hey, the
music.
spunky sidekick's back.
This is Reina Mystique.
I'm just happy to be on Sarah Jazz's music show.
She is Reina Mystique. She is an
that's cool.
incredible artist, and
Yeah.
she's very funny.
That's,
And do you have any questions for her?
Yeah. Bro, do you even music?
I mean, kind of on my days off. It's a hobby, you know?
That's good. Is that why you live in a
Actually,
van?
that's an interesting question. Do you sometimes just
That's what I-
shut off music just to have a day off?
No, I wish. Like, even on days off, like, I'm just like, I need to, like, touch my instrument or sing a song or write something. I love music. I love music very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
That is why we accept underpaid gigs, shitty gas station food, because we love music. In the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be that way.
It
I don't
shouldn't
want
be
your
that way,
fucking
yeah.
drink. Like,
Yeah.
That's the issue. It shouldn't be that way. It is that way, and I understand that. And you have to make do with what you have, because that's the real world. But I still think it sucks, and I'm still gonna speak up about it.
Yeah.
Which is why
I'm
I talk
just saying,
about it so
I'm just
much.
saying that's why, you know, because
Oh, I mean, I know that's why. I like if you do music and you actually want music to be a career. First of all, you have some sort of brain damage because no one sane goes into music.
Yeah.
In the end, like you have some reason that you're
Right.
choosing that over something sensible.
Yeah.
you're
And
a
so
masochist. That's what it is.
you got to be a
True.
little crazy. Like it's just the way it is. And then from there, once you start actually digging in and getting into it and seeing how hard the lifestyle is, and then listening to how you live in bizarro world, because everyone will tell you being a musician is so glamorous and it must be such a glamorous life. And then Reina Mystique's like, I lived in a van.
Yes.
That is the most glamorous
Yes.
life, and I'm glad that listen. I love people that can make lemonade out of lemons. Like, don't get me wrong, and I know that you made
I
that
wish I
choice.
still lived in a van.
Yeah.
I want to go back to being in the van. I loved van. I honestly want to go back to it. We sold
Yeah.
our van when we decided to like stay here, but I'm ready to be back in my van.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
I know, and I'm teasing. I hope everyone knows I'm always kidding. Like I'm not serious.
No, he meant that.
Thank you for
He
Okay,
meant
that.
I
that,
meant
guys.
that. I meant that. And you know where your van was probably built? Detroit.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, it was. Somebody who was eating raisins in their goulash.
That's right. They're eating raisins and sour cream. Sour cream and grapes.
Raisins and sour cream in their goulash.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. Can we talk about chili mac though? Because that's another weird one. Another weird one.
Yeah, but why do we do this? Reina,
Why do
tell
we
us.
do
why
this
do we?
show?
No,
I don't know why I do
do
this.
we do music?
I'm a
Why do we
glutton
do
for
music?
punishment.
Why do we do music and just instead of being an accountant?
God, I wish I knew the answer to that. And I even tried to have a real job. Like I had like an executive job, and I just, I don't know. Music is literally, actually, I did find something that challenges me recently, more than music. So I'm really interested in that. Unfortunately, all the theaters are closed, so I can't act right now.
Mhm.
But like, I don't think I can do anything but create because I would go crazy.
Yeah, I think that's true for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I took 10 years off, obviously, and when I started thinking back to the things in life that made me happy and the things that I really wanted to do, music was always near the top of the list. And, you know, it just sucks that everyone on my own show shits on me for it.
Oh my God! Nobody shits on you. Oh my God!
You know,
What is this
every
today?
job Every job I've ever had I was always hired under the pretense of, hey, I'm a musician first.
Yes.
So if anything ever comes up, like I'm not available. And I've never had a job where they didn't know that about me. And then finally, when my son was born, it was like, okay, well, we're just going to go full time and not have jobs anymore because this is ridiculous. And I've never been happier. So.
Yeah. No, and I give you credit for doing that. I know that, even all the musicians that I knew at some point either had periods of time where they had to give it up or they were doing it amongst doing a million other things, whether it was some sort of day job or something else. It's just hard out there to survive. And, I do think that in some ways Twitch and the streaming platforms are just trading in like one shady business for another business where there's a lot of unreliability and a lot of issues with
That's
it.
true,
And like DMCA obviously being a huge issue right now, and that we didn't even talk about that on the show, which was huge news last night, the Metallica thing. That during BlizzCon, Twitch had to mute their own stream and they replaced it with 8-bit music, like very lo-fi music while Metallica was playing.
No.
While Metallica was playing.
They had DMCA
because
music
they didn't
in
want their
own stream.
Yeah, they didn't want to get their own stream DMCA.
What
So
is
if
Twitch, dude?
If you haven't seen the video of it, it is quite hilarious. And you will think at first, when you're first seeing it, you will think at first that it's a meme, that it's a joke, like someone edited it, but it's what actually happened. Like somebody went, "Oh my God, we can't play this."
During the live?
Yeah, during the live. So Metallica is performing live, and it cuts immediately into this weird lo-fi music. And then it just plays through it, Metallica does, and then they come back. That is the current DMCA situation on Twitch. So if you haven't seen it, go seek that out, and feel free to make comments to Twitch that they will subsequently ignore about managing the DMCA.
Well, why do they keep partnering DJs?
I've wondered that. I've wondered that since day one. And again, I don't have anything against DJs.
No.
And I do think good DJs can be transformative.
100%.
I think good DJs can be transformative. Not all DJs are transformative, but good DJs can be. But I've always wondered the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't, especially now knowing that there's, and then we did have Scarlett on a couple weeks ago, who is another person who she kind of innovated past it, and she found independent music.
She's whitelisted with a lot of labels.
She's whitelisted with labels. Like she went, and not everyone can do what she can do. Obviously,
Yeah, a lot
she
of
had more
DJs don't have that though on Twitch.
But it was very interesting. But yeah, I think that obviously it gets more and more questionable because Twitch as a platform doesn't really, at least not yet, defend its artists. So,
I mean, let's be honest. Are we really talking about the platform being professional when they gave a freaking medal to the most raids to a bot?
that is true. They did do
legit
that.
gave, when the year was over, they did like
a most raids award is like viewers appreciation show,
and most raids, instead of a streamer, they gave it to a bot. It was beautiful, yeah.
They did do that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not too worried about DMCA because if we ever stop having to do like set list stuff, which set list is great because I've realized in the past 2 months that if I just do my set list, like I'll grow.
Yeah.
But I'm not too worried about it because if they ever stop set lists, like I know how to make my own music, so I'm not too worried about it.
Not everyone does, and I agree with that too. And I'm one of those idiots that only plays my own music, so that's my own fault, I guess. But that's, I think that there's a lot of people that obviously it has messed with them. And that is always the curiosity is I would love to see some sort of middle ground happen. But unfortunately, I just believe that if a law ever does get passed or gets changed, that it's probably going to be worse than whatever it is now, or more specific or more harmful to those uses than they are now. And I feel the same, Sammy. I was actually talking about that as well, that not only that, Twitch literally takes 50% of your income, which and especially for small artists, is borderline predatory as well.
Yeah, so I actually have that as a question for you, Reina. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like Twitch is, because Silence always says Twitch is only just the same kind of like a label. They take 50% of your income that is related to Twitch. How do you feel about that? Do you think do you have the same opinion? It's kind of like working for...
It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I've only been doing this for, I'm almost at 11 months. So I haven't been doing it like as long as some people, but it doesn't bother me at all because I mean, if people don't like that, they can send it to PayPal or they can send it to Venmo. So it doesn't bother me. It's a great, to me, it's a great platform. And I've never been able to connect with a community based around my music the way that I have on Twitch.
Yeah.
So I love it. And, I don't have any complaints at this point. I mean, who knows what'll happen in the future, but I'm pretty happy.
You'll get there once you get your first ban. Once you get your first ban, you start hating Twitch. It's just a thing.
I haven't been banned, and I don't hate Twitch. I think that I don't know. I don't think necessarily making criticisms or making critiques about a platform is hating it, but I also feel like, you know, from an artist promotion perspective, there's so much more that could be done for discoverability and for artists, and there's lots of room for improvement. And the hope is, obviously, it's still a new thing, and Twitch is a larger company, and things move slow in larger companies. But at the end of the day, you know, I think that the platform itself could do more, especially to do that, but they don't necessarily do that. So
yeah, but the community is great, is what Reina said, and what everybody always says. The community or the people inside Twitch are what makes Twitch actually, and not, you know, when we talk about, Twitch is great, talk about the people in it and you know, the streamers, the viewers, and all of that. Yeah.
I understand that.
Do you have any more questions?
I don't.
You don't have any more questions?
No.
I do have a last question. How do you go about your songwriting? Do you start off with a particular instrument? Do you start off with chords? Do you start off with singing? Do you sing something into your phone? Or how do you start with your songwriting?
It depends on the project. If it's my own song that I'm writing for myself, sometimes I'm intentional about it and I sit down and I say, hey, I'm gonna use these chords and I'm just gonna play them until a melody comes. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, oh, where's my phone? And I sing it and then I go back to bed. If I'm writing for a client, then sometimes they might give me a word or a topic, or they might have their lyrics of their own, or they might say, hey, I'm looking for a song like this. So it's very project to project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Love that.
So other than...
But everything's for sale.
Everything is for sale. Exactly.
Everything's for sale.
Thank you so much, Reina, for being on. I really appreciate it, and it was an interesting talk today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we also talked about topics that we normally don't.
Normally get a chance to talk about.
Yeah, we don't get a chance to talk about. And tell us everything. Tell us
again,
everything.
Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. You're on the front page on Twitch, performing, which again is your normal stream time. So everyone that can make it from our community, if you're listening to the podcast, go do that and be there for that event. And what else should people know about? What else should they look for?
Words?
Reina Mystique is everywhere. So if you just Google me, you'll find me. When people tell me that they miss my music, I'm usually quick to be like, you're lying, because I'm everywhere. So come and find me. I'm actively trying to grow my Twitch. I seriously have never found a platform like this, and I love it. I also want to give a huge shout out. I see all the Grundies in the chat. You guys are incredible, and it doesn't matter if I'm having a good day or a bad day. You guys literally put a smile on my face, so I can't thank you enough. And Sarah and Silence, you guys, thank you so much. This was a huge honor to be here.
Thank you for being
you
on.
for being here.
Everybody go
Appreciate you.
follow Reina. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day/night. It's daytime where you are.
It's almost night where she is.
It's almost night. Well, have a wonderful evening.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much for being here. On.
Tuesday. Make sure everyone go check it out.
Tuesday, and go check her out and watch her.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.
Bye.
So, also, DZ, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting this this stream / this show. Thank you so much. What do we have planned next?
Grateful Bard.
Graceful Bard is going to be
rather.
on.
I said Grateful Bard. Graceful Bard.
Graceful Bard.
She's also grateful, but Graceful Bard is our next guest. If you guys don't know her, like I said, we're getting into so many people that I think a lot of people don't know as well.
Yeah.
So, like, I know a lot of people are new to Reina. I know Guitar Shredder, a lot of people don't know him, who's coming up, Graceful Bard. And as I said, I had somebody ask me last week, and I want to repeat it on the show. People ask, like, how do we suggest someone, or how do we get people on Music Exposed, or how do I get on Music Exposed? At musicexposed.show, there's an email link at the bottom. You can email me there, or you can DM me on Twitter. I have some emails still that I need to catch up on to answer, but I'm through most of them at this point. But I have a couple that I still need to answer with suggestions for that. We're always open to suggestions. Music Exposed is every other week now, so we bring that up, that it's every other week. It's every second Saturday we do that. And again, check out the bulletin board, all the new artists from this week. And yeah, Graceful Bard is our next guest, and next Saturday we will be completely off. So
yeah,
normally we'll be doing other shows on Saturday, but next Saturday we will not be.
Yeah, next Saturday we will be taking off. And Sammy side, we will get back to you at some point.
Oh yeah, Sammy side, I have you on my list. Don't worry.
Don't worry. If you've
emailed me already, I have a few people that I still need to get in the rotation.
And we will schedule you. Don't worry about that. It's just, we only have so many weeks, so we try to schedule people, and but we will schedule you.
Sammy, you're on. You're gonna be on.
Yeah. But yeah, do we have anything else? Do we want to announce anything? Do we have anything else special? I have a normal stream, you have a normal stream. Do you have another jazz stream tomorrow?
No, I'm giving up music after today's stream. Bye. I'll just be a full-time ASMR streamer, I guess.
Well, why ASMR though?
I don't know. What else am I gonna do?
Sammy, thank you for the 3 bits. What else are you gonna do?
I have no idea.
I mean, I've actually suggested to him that he should start also doing Mario Maker streams because he's so good at that game. You would actually have a good following.
I mean, I complain that no one would watch my Mario Maker streams, but
they probably would. Thank you so much, Sammy, for 27
bits as opposed to 1. Yeah, body painting.
Do you want to do body painting?
No, I have no interest in body painting. No, thank you.
Oh well.
Yeah, I'm not going that route. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
well, no till you try it.
Yeah, if you're into it.
Only if you're into it. But just kidding. Thank you, Sammy Side, for another 52 bits. Thank you so much.
I like the weird numbers. I like that.
Yeah.
27.
And now 10 bits. Thank you so much, Top It. I really appreciate it. But I really enjoyed Reina. She was awesome.
Oh, yeah,
she's an
amazing.
Awesome woman.
We knew she would be awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, she's funny. She has a good sense of humor, and she's just awesome. I really
please everyone go give her a follow. And Tuesday, that's a big event. If you guys can be there on Tuesday, I think that's amazing. As we said, there's definitely not enough black female artists on Twitch. I don't even think there's enough black artists.
I don't think there's a lot of black just streamers in general.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On Twitch,
100%.
I feel like when you go and search for somebody, it's mostly white people.
Yeah.
And but we also have there's also a lot of Asians.
Yeah.
On Twitch, there's a lot of popular Asians.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that I love the fact that there's features for that. I love the fact that there are features for musicians in general, which is, again, if you go back to a year or two ago, that wasn't even really a thing on Twitch. So now the fact that it's coming along and there's progress being made, which is good. And so, yeah, I hope we see more and more of that.
Yeah,
and you know why? It's expensive to be a streamer. That's true.
I'm also actually for, because the trans community is for it, for having a trans tag.
Yeah.
I would like to see that too, because a trans.
I don't know what the issue is to having tags like that. I mean, I don't know what the issue is. Like, I think if people want it, just do it.
Twitch
What's the problem?
says that. I mean, the trans community wants it, but Twitch says they don't want to implement it because it attracts more trolls, and it's
because they don't actually want to fucking moderate their site.
It attracts trolls. Anyways.
Well, yeah, they're here anyway. Like, it's a fucking embarrassment. So to me, it's like, if it's helpful to the community to have it, why not have it and actually deal with the troll issue as opposed to not dealing with it? But that would require an investment of money
and time and
yes,
people and bonds, that you would have. Thank you so much, Ray, for giving that up to DJ Venix. But yeah, I would like to see that actually. But you know, I don't even, and this is sometimes I think about this because I am somebody who gets trolls a lot who think that I'm trans, and they like joke about that. Now I can't, and I get that fairly often. So I cannot imagine how many trolls an actual trans person gets. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's already a joke for them.
I mean, that just sucks. I don't know what you're looking to me to say. That's not something that I experienced.
I'm just
talking. I mean, what can I contribute to that other than to say that it fucking sucks?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be
I don't
that
think
way.
it sucks. Like people just.
It does suck. No, it fucking sucks.
No, I don't.
That people behave that way.
It doesn't suck for me because you know.
Yeah, it does suck for you. It sucks that happens in the first place.
Yeah, it's
like,
that's
all you can say. Like, what am I
true.
going to say about it other than, you know, let the community decide what they want, and if they want that, do it. And if there needs to be actual dealing with stuff like that, then it needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be transparent how it's going to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And that's always been the issue at this point. Yeah, I agree. I don't.
Yeah, all we can do is be
support.
supportive in these specific communities. Exactly,
Yeah.
and I agree with that. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
That's all we can do, and try to make it better and educate people who are maybe being.
There are plenty of white dudes that have a say in these things, and I'm like, all right, as a white dude, just point me in the right place to support. And for the most part, my opinion on these things is give people the representation they deserve.
Yes, I agree.
Nothing else to be said for me.
I agree.
Plenty of white dudes are sharing their opinions that you can go watch elsewhere. My opinion is include everybody and don't be a dick, which too many of you are dicks.
Are you calling Stepchat dicks now?
Oh yeah, there are lots of dicks. We had dicks in Stepchat today too, so we had people showing up and saying racist shit and fuck
That's
you.
True, yeah.
Fuck
That's
you.
True.
You're a racist. Suck my dick.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I agree.
And I hate to be. I don't even care that I'm not aggressive about it. I'm just like.
I just
people
hate
that are
that.
that
I
way,
hate that
just
people have
fuck
to
you.
deal with that. Like I legit hate that you have to deal with that. And I don't even have to deal with that part. Like I only have to deal with the fact that I'm just a woman. You know.
I love what Best Beer Man
But-
says, and I say the same thing. Easiest thing in the world is not to be a dick. All you have to do is nothing. Exactly right.
It's so easy, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy. I feel like they just didn't have the education of their parents telling
But they
them.
did. Well, I don't agree with that at all. And again, I know that's a totally different show we're getting into. Again, the other side of Detroit, as someone who was raised in Detroit, and the reason that I used to think it was such a racist place is because lots of people are raised that way. We just don't like to talk and admit that lots of people are actually raised that way. And anybody that believes that, over time, reality tends to get more and more progressive and things move forward very slowly. But to act like, oh, we should pat ourselves on the back and racism is eradicated and we've done such a good job and I'm not like that anymore is a total load of fucking bullshit. And
I think anybody who thinks that racism is not a thing anymore is just very ignorant.
Yeah.
You see it every day. You see it every single day.
Yes.
And it's fucking horrible. And
but we're a show that talks about dicks, so this is way too serious of a topic
That's
for
true.
us.
This show talks about dicks and music. It's not serious.
Yes.
What are we even talking about?
This is a show about dicks and raisins.
Raisins and mac and cheese.
And Reina Mystique. Dicks, if this could have a title, if our podcast episode had titles, this would be Dicks, Raisins, and Reina Mystique.
I like
that would be this episode.
I hope Reina Mystique is okay with that.
That's fine. I'm sure she would be. She has no time for drama, so she has no drama.
Yeah, she's fine with being in the same title as Dicks.
Yeah. Well, I know.
That's clickbait. That is very clickbaity. Yeah.
Yes. Sammy, you asked what I want to answer this because I realized in the middle of the interview. Normally, when you ask me questions in the middle of the interview with the guest, I focus on the guests and I didn't answer them. But you asked the question of if I have a day job and if so, what it is. Yes, I've always had a day job. I am most certainly fucking not a full-time streamer. If you've seen my stream, you know I'm not a full-time streamer.
A lot of people think, though, that you are a full-time streamer.
A lot of people
think
do
you
drugs.
Are more...
I'm not popular. I'm not even popular on my own fucking show. I lost a vote 11 to 2 for people to vote me off my show. People call me the fucking side. No, this shit seriously pisses me off. Like, I'm not joking. This shit pisses me off. Like, I hate being put as a fucking sidekick in my own life, which I'm not, and which is why I've always fought against those kinds of things, which is like, I don't like that stuff. So, no, I've had a day job the entire time. If anybody thinks I'm making a fucking living off my stream, well, I really appreciate you, but I'm nowhere near that. Yeah, when is the Sarah and Reina show?
Ziggy's like...
Oh, okay, bye.
Ziggy's like really like putting the finger on the...
I know, he's really going at me. I get
Silence is a main character. He is the hero of the show.
No, I don't like it.
Hero.
I hate that.
Yeah. I'm
but,
sorry.
No, and that's the way it is. I know where my lane is. And to me, I mean, look, I'm honest. Yeah, my day job, I have a digital marketing consulting agency. I've worked with small businesses for the last 17 years. I'm old. On digital marketing campaigns, sales, basically anything in the marketing world I've done. But right now I specialize in digital marketing and primarily for information products and things like that. But I've done a lot of things over my life and career. Sarah gave her whole resume on the last show, but the issue with me is that I run a consulting agency, and for me, COVID wiped a lot of that out because I primarily work with small to medium-sized businesses, and when COVID hit, all of them basically have shut down. Especially service-based businesses, a lot of them shut down, and so that killed me. Which is why the reason that people have seen me on stream a lot more, and I started getting very serious about stream, was the fact that I wasn't getting a lot of referrals. I wasn't finding a lot of work in my space because so many small businesses had shut down, and I had all this time. So I was like, what do I want to do with my time? Why don't I focus on, being as happy as I can? And music is the thing that makes me happy, and I really enjoy doing my stream. It frustrates me a lot sometimes. Streaming is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, sometimes.
And we talk about it every week. And one of these fucking weeks, we're gonna do the burnout stream. We actually have guests that want to do it. We're gonna do. It's not even just we call it the burnout stream, but really it's the streamer issue stream, like the real shit that streamers deal with stream. That I still really want to do because I just want to talk about these issues out in the open. And I know a lot of people are scared to talk about them. And I think that's exactly why we need to talk about them. Yeah. About, dealing with trolls, about being burned out. I don't even consider myself having done this that long, but I'm about 2 years. You're about 3 years. So, for new streamers, I think they need the reality of what streaming really is as a career.
And maybe also tips or advice how to not get burned out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have so many things that I could say that you should not do that I did because I followed advice that was given to me from big streamers or streamers who do advice things, or just people who are like, this is what works for this huge streamer, so it should work for you too. Which is not true, and how to handle burnout and what literally not to do. How do you the whole comparison thing, the whole growing thing, etc. There's a lot to say, and I know a lot of opinions of bigger streamers too who talk about this constantly. So I could also
and to me the short version of that is I say this, like, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if you're the most optimistic person in the world. There are a lot of people who have done a lot of work on themselves. Like Reina has clearly done a lot of work on herself. She's someone that knows what her priorities are, know what she loves, has her shit straight in life. She has that, and I fucking love that. I think most people are more like me, who aren't always taking it that easily or those kinds of things. Because like you brought up comparison. It's like if I'm looking at myself in terms of raw numbers, I should be really proud of myself. I started at legit 0. I streamed for months and months and months to 0 people. And now I'm at a point where I consistently have, a good amount of people watching me. I'm nowhere near as big as this stream, and I'm nowhere near as big as a lot of other people. But now I'm at something like 1,200-ish followers, which over a course of 2 years, that's really good. Yeah. But then, if I look at any other music streamer that started around the same time as me, I might as well drive off a bridge. Yeah,
and that's
because I look at literally. I think there's maybe been 1 or 2 streamers on the entirety of Music Exposed that I have more followers than. Maybe 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Most people that have been on the show are bigger than I am and grow a lot faster.
And that's the mistake, is starting to compare. Now, the thing is, how do you stop comparing? I do not know the answer to that.
Well, you have to compare to some extent, though. That's the nature of the business.
I know that's the nature of the business, but at the same time, it just kills you.
I agree with that.
It kills your mental health, and that's not what it should be. And we need to talk about that too.
Yeah, for
where
sure.
we probably disagree a little, because I'm like, just do not compare. And you're like, well, that's the nature of the business. And it's like, yes, but it's going to kill you. And it's going to kill you quite literally at some point if you just don't handle your mental health that way.
Well, no, but I just like to talk about it because, it's...
Because you have a great trajectory just on its own.
If you just look at that in a vacuum.
You see like other people growing more, and that is your mistake. That is a big mistake, to just drive yourself into the ground and drive yourself into burnout, or just be done with it, which is not the way to go.
Well, and I think that everybody has that point in streaming. I think the hardest thing that most people need to realize is that first wall. And I feel like there's the first wall that everybody inevitably hits it, of when you get into those first streams or those first couple of streams that you really don't want to do. And that's normally like, because you'll have those first streams where you're really excited, it's a new thing, then you start to build a following, and then you get really excited and really enthusiastic, and all of your energy goes into it, and then there's a wall. You might hit it 6 months in, you might hit it 2 years in, or whatever, but there's that first wall of when the pressure starts to build up, and again, you really get to those first streams that you don't want to do, or that before a stream you're anxious, or you don't want to hit start streaming, or those kinds of things. And then that's when all that other stuff really starts to creep in. The comparison, the numbers,
you start doing
those kinds
all
of
those
things.
Mistakes, which is basically you're just sabotaging yourself.
And it knocks you out.
Yeah,
it
and
really
you're
knocks you out.
sabotaging yourself, and that way you build yourself into a burnout, because you hit that first wall,
right,
or that first self-doubt that and it knocked me out completely, for example.
And that's why I want to talk about it. Again, I agree, climb over that wall and keep going, but then again, I feel like a lot of streamers exist in a vacuum because you're doing this alone in your studio, or alone in your bedroom, or alone in whatever. And so nobody
talks about it.
Nobody talks about it.
That's the other thing. Nobody talks about it. The streamers don't really talk about it, and if they do, they talk about it in between, and people miss it and stuff, and in between, maybe they're like, oh, I'm not doing that well, or something. I post on Twitter, they're like, oh, I'm not doing that well, no stream today. But nobody really talks about it in depth, and nobody really tackles that as a which we want to do, because we want to help streamers who just started, or streamers who are already experiencing this burnout, to keep going, because so many people quit, or have a stream where have other streamers talk about this and be like, oh, I'm not alone in this, because a lot of streamers also struggle to talk to other streamers about these things, because it's like, because every streamer
that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
Every streamer that you talk to, sometimes I also feel like I don't want to talk to this streamer about it, because this streamer is more popular than me. And like, maybe it feels like I'm ungrateful, or sometimes it feels like I'm comparing to them, or being whiny. And then when I want to talk to smaller streamers about that issue, I feel like I'm being ungrateful. So it's like, it's always that thing where I'm like, how do I tackle this? How do I talk to streamers, completely not knowing that they are going through the same thing, or have gone through the same thing.
All of us have.
And that's very interesting when you actually do start talking to streamers about those things, and go over those inhibitions of, I don't want to talk to this person about it, because, they probably won't understand, because they seem so happy on stream all the time, and they're bigger or smaller or whatever. But in the end, you will find out that everybody is struggling with the same thing, because it's basically an illness of the profession.
Right. But this is going on the longest Music Exposed in history.
That is very true.
So let's wrap this up.
Yes.
We're going to do that stream eventually. We've got people that want to be part of it. Again, contact me if you want to be on the show. We obviously have a lineup going forward, but if you have recommendations, those kinds of things, please check out the bulletin board. I know that it's been crazy. Yes, go away. Okay, bye.
What?
Where is it? Go away. Bye. Hit the button. Hit the button.
Well, okay.